comes to the Canadian Men's Curling Championship in the province of Alberta, their names are synonymous with winning. How about Matt Baldwin, a three-time winner, Ron Northcott, three-time Canadian champion, or the gentle giant Heck Gervais? How about Cool Hand Luke, Ed Lukowicz out of Calgary? Another two-time winner, Pat Ryan, 88 and 89. And the most recent Alberta champion, well, it was 1991. Kevin Martin from the Otwell Club in Edmonton, Canadian champion. And now Martin is back again, trying to win Alberta's 18th national championship here at the Labatt Brier. It's still early. Oh, is it ever early? I mean, it's just day one. We're ready for the second draw of this, the Labatt Brier in Kamloops, BC. And what a first draw we had. What a first draw for this man, the hometown favorite, Barry McPhee from the Kamloops Curling Club, as he opened against Ontario. Bob Ingram, 2-2, playing the seventh look of this, comes off his own, gets the Ontario stone sitting back of the button, and sticks for two, as BC would go on to an opening draw win, 5-2 over Ontario. McPhee in his third appearance at a Canadian Men's Curling Championship, the Labatt Brier. And before play began, we had the Ford Hot Shots, the winner to take home a 1996 Ford Contour, the GL worth $23,000, and it came down to a battle of leads. Don Bartlett, the Alberta lead against Rick Perron from New Brunswick. Final stone for Bartlett, trailing by 2 points. Needed to make the double takeout and hold the shooter, and it just wouldn't stick around. He only scored one. Perron didn't even have to throw his last one. He is the Ford Hot Shot here in Kamloops. Saturday afternoon's first draw sees Quebec beat Manitoba. Jeff Stoughton, Ontario loses to BC. It was a win for Newfoundland over Nova Scotia, and the team from Bridgewater in the Yukon Northwest Territories upsets Northern Ontario. Coming up in round two, the first appearance for both PEI and Alberta. It's Peter McDonald against Kevin Martin.
The 1996 Labatt Brier is brought to you by Labatt, good things brewing. The Ford Motor Company of Canada Limited. And by CIBC Trust, your will and estate planning and investment management professionals.
It's pretty, isn't it? You know, Kamloops likes to think of itself as the heart of the West. And ever since the first fur traders arrived here in 1812 or so, and followed by the gold miners in the rush of 1860, followed by the cattle ranchers, Kamloops has always found itself at the center of all that activity. And this week, Kamloops is at the center of all the activity surrounding the Labatt Brier. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to TSN's continuing first day coverage of this, the 1996 Labatt Brier. And in our featured second draw game, two of the experienced teams in a field that, by all accounts, has very limited experience. Alberta, Kevin Martin. He is the only former champion in the field, won his title in 1991 in Hamilton. And then Prince Edward Island, Peter McDonald. It's his fourth appearance at a national championship. With their thoughts, Lyndon Ray.
He really looks good outside and all that sunshine, does he? But we're stuck here in the booth. Well, Vic, you're right about Kevin Martin. He really is a complete package. He has it all. He can throw it up and he can throw it down. He keeps his opponents off balance by they never seem to know how he's going to approach the game. And it'll be interesting tonight to see how he goes after Peter McDonald. He made a change in the beginning of the season in personnel, or the middle of the season, I should say, so will it affect him? He really has had a good year, hasn't been able to finish. He wants to finish this one, though.
You may say it's a tough position for PEI. Look who they face in their opening round. Plus, they got the opening round of this entire event off. The nervousness might build. But 3 of the 4 players on the PEI squad have prior Brier experience. And that's really key when we come to any of these events. Plus, 1995 was a good year for both Peter and Rod McDonald. They were runner-up at the Unitel Mixed. They're going to have to rely on all of that skill and experience, though, Ray. A very tough opponent tonight.
For sure. And Kevin won the Brier in Hamilton. He wants to get back to win that world. Victor?
Linda, Ray, Kamloops is also considered a natural crossroads of sorts because this is where the North and the South Thompson Rivers come together. It became a crossroads for both national railways, the CN and the CP. And for travelers, it's the crossroads between Alberta and the rest of British Columbia. If you drive 6 hours that way, you'll get to Calgary. And Linda, you well know, if you drive 4 hours that way, Vancouver is your final destination. So when we come back, it'll be Alberta against PEI as they cross paths here in the crossroads of BC, Kamloops, Labatt Brier on TSN.
We came up from Louisiana to Montreal to play at the festival. We were ready to go, but we noticed that our most important instrument was missing right before the show. We had to do something. I wasn't even sure they took Visa. Do you take Visa?
Pardon me?
Visa, I hope you'll take it.
Of course. We only take Visa.
Used more often than any other card in the world. Visa. It's the only card you need.
It's been 2 weeks.
What do you mean?
I mean every day for 2 weeks.
Every day?
Every day.
And it's good?
It's very good.
2 weeks, huh?
Oh, yeah.
What does your wife think?
She thinks it's great. You should try it.
Oh, I'm gonna try it.
Good.
They're talking about Kellogg's All Brand. It's very high in fiber. Make it part of your complete breakfast for 2 weeks and see how you feel about it.
How do you feel about it?
Good.
You feel good.
I knew that I would.
Kellogg's All Brand. Try it for 2 weeks. Love it forever.
One of these men had gray hair just 5 minutes ago. Can you guess who used Just for Men hair coloring? Just apply, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Who used Just for Men?
I did, in just 5 minutes.
Bring back the look of natural color with Just for Men.
With Coldwell Banker Real Estate, you always get the best, because our salespeople have the best resources to deliver results, with support services like the Coldwell Banker Referral Network. It's what the best means. Coldwell Banker, support you can count on.
Here's to McCain from the tiny and the small. For McCain Junior Juice is the best taste of all. McCain Junior Juice from Superb Concentrate is just enough juice and deliciously great. So let's have a junior and drink from the box. Uh-oh, time to split. Here comes the fox.
McCain Junior Juice, the just enough size.
Well, the Riverside Coliseum is a beautiful building, but all the more so with the decorations that are here for this, the 96 Labatt Brier. The 4 sheets in play. This afternoon, our game was on sheet B. Tonight, second draw is on sheet C. How will it be? Let's read the ice. Brought to you by CIBC Trust. Here's Ray.
Well, it's a great ice surface. Hans Budzik and Shorty Jenkins are here. Let's talk about the speed from that hog line to this tee line. We're talking about 23.5 to 24. It will change through the game. To get around the center guard, lots of movement, but very, very late. About 2.5 feet of movement, almost 3, and it comes very, very late with both turns. But you can certainly hide. We saw that this afternoon. Around the corner guards, 3.5 to 4 feet, and big time at the end. On both sides of the sheet, no problem. It's very weight sensitive. When you're hitting from the outside in, it'll run fairly straight. We saw that last week. We're seeing it again this week. Have to be careful, about 2 or 3 inches of ice. When you're coming off the center line, about 1.5 feet with any kind of weight, but it will run straight. The area to watch is this line path. We say it's 23.5 to 24. It may even get faster through the game. It was a great ice surface this afternoon. We expect the same tonight. Should be a tremendous curling game.
We're in the home of the Kamloops Blazers. Last year they hosted the Memorial Cup. Rod McDonald and Don Bartlett are the respective leads. John Postma, Sean Broda throw second stones. Grant Summers and Don Walchuk at third. And the 2 skips from the Prince Edward Island Silver Fox Curling and Yacht Club in Summerside, Peter McDonald, and from the Otwell in Edmonton, Kevin Martin representing Alberta. As you take a look at the other games on the ice, Nova Scotia, Ontario losers, Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, first games for them. Prince Edward Island, Alberta is our featured game, and British Columbia against Quebec. 2 winners in the opening draw, and there are our byes: Manitoba, the Yukon, Northern Ontario, and Newfoundland. Red Rocks throughout round robin do have last rock. And so Prince Edward Island will have the hammer here in the first. Throwing first stone will be the Alberta lead, Don Barton.
Well, and it's kind of interesting because you never really know, and I really think Kevin, that's a plan of Kevin's, you know. He likes to keep his opponents off balance, and you don't know if he's going to come out, play it simple. You don't know if he's going to, we saw this all through the season at the World Curling Tour Championship, starting right at the M&M Classic in London, where they went to in the beginning, and all through the season. Sometimes he closes the ends quickly, and sometimes he plays up and down the sheet. So he really does enjoy sort of keeping you guessing.
It looks like on that first one they were hoping for it to stop short of the house in the free guard zone. That would mean it couldn't be completely removed from play, but it does slide into the house. So PEI will make a play on the stone.
That's a little indication that he's going to go right after Peter.
Rod and his brother both work at Alex McDonald, Fort Mercury. It's a family business in Summerside.
You know, it's a long trip for this PEI team, and it's not just the distance to get here to Kamloops, the heart of the West, as Vic said.
Pass Roads, was it Pass Roads?
Crossroads.
Crossroads.
Yep. But Peter and Rod haven't been at a Brier since 1981, and third Grant Summers was at Brier in '86. That's a long time back. So you know they want to come out firing in this first game to gain the confidence and the momentum for the week. You don't want to give up your chance after waiting so long to make it back.
Rod McDonald.
Easy. Easy. Clean. Clean.
And the team did say, although they did have that first round of this event off, they felt that it wasn't a bad thing, that they had a chance to look at the ice, kind of feel out what they wanted to do in this opening game for them. So they didn't really think it was a negative. I think it's kind of tough to come out for those opening ceremonies and then have to sit the afternoon waiting for your first game.
I kind of agree with you, Linda. I think that in some of the Briers we've been to, it's turned out to be an advantage because they usually if they're going to have any problems with your ice service, you have it on the opening day when there's so many people in the building and so much standing around with the lights on. But the ice was excellent this afternoon. I think that you know, first of all, getting the bye. It's always nicer to have it in midweek. Getting the bye like that on the open draw, and then having to play Kevin Martin on your first game could be a disadvantage.
John and his family have the Postma Brothers farm, primarily potatoes, 700 acres. He's telling us 4 million pounds of potatoes. A lot of it's seed potato that goes to places like Puerto Rico and Italy.
He should really work for the Canadian Postal Service, don't you think?
He's a postman? Very good. He was joking with us. This is the new member of this team. And we should explain that. I think Sean Broda. What happened was, of course, Randy Furby was playing third. Kevin Martin wanted Randy, or asked Randy to make the switch. Let's put Don up to third. You move down to second. Difference of opinion. Randy Furby leaves. Now they're looking for somebody to replace Don Bartlett second. So what they did was they went to their coach, Jules Oucher, and Jules Oucher happened to coach Sean Broda, recommended him to Kevin, and that's how he's on the team.
It certainly hasn't seemed to hurt them at all at this point anyway. It's they won Alberta. They're the hard way coming up through the B group.
In fact, Kevin Martin and Alberta were the last team to qualify for the Labatt Brier. They won on the first weekend of the Scott Tournament of Hearts, so that's about 2 weeks ago. They beat Frank Morissette of Calgary 6-5 in an extra end. Don works for Moss Lawson as a stockbroker.
And this may be the most interesting part of this team. We know Don Walchuk is a great shooter. As a matter of fact, he's one of the best hit players in the game, I think. But we'll have to see how he moves into that third position and how he and Kevin work together. That's the critical part of this team.
Don did skip, I believe it was last year or the year before last. I can't remember what year it was. All these years seem to run together. but so he obviously, you know, and we'd seen so much of Don Bartlett and Don Walchuk over the years. And they're just tremendous throwers. I don't think it'll be any problem at all. He's a as you say, he's a great hitter, but Kevin himself is a great hitter, but they can play that soft game so well.
John?
Kevin was talking to him before the game started. He said, Ray, this ice is absolutely perfect. And the stones are sensational. If you weren't with us this afternoon, these are the same stone that he used last year. And the Scott Terma Hearts in Calgary, and they're just fabulous.
Right off.
So there's really, he said, you know, the nice part is you can throw that hack weight and still get around the guard and hit a stone on the nose. And that makes for interesting curling.
Well, by the same token, you've made the point this season that because of the way the game's played today, that in fact the bigger hitters are now playing the third position, so that just might be the perfect spot for Don Walchuk. Would you agree?
Well, he's a great shooter, there's no question. And Linda's point is a good one. You know, as long as he works well with Kevin and they communicate properly, he's a natural for that spot. You know, I've said this so many times, but I think it's worth repeating that really a curling team now is divided up into a situation where you have a lead and you have 2/3. As far as I'm concerned, the shots are so similar, and then a skip, and the skip being the guy that puts it all together. And more importantly, makes the right one at the right time.
We thank you for all your internet questions. We'll try to answer as many as we can. And this one from Ryan McDonald. I think from Prince Edward Island? I'm not sure. When is a stone officially in play? When it leaves the hack, leaves the hand, or crosses the hog?
Hurry!
Well, that's an interesting question. I'm not really sure what he means by in play.
T-line, is it not? Isn't that where you can release?
Well, you can't
pull it back, right?
Hurry! As Linda's going to say that you can't stop it. Once you go across the T-line, then the rock is in play.
Yeah.
Still in your hand, but it must be released by the hog line, clearly released by the hog line.
Yeah, it's on that mark.
But it's in play the minute it goes across that first T line. I think that's how it reads, Linda.
That's right, and you actually, if you want to replay, you actually have to hang on to the stone and not let the stone cross that first T line if you want to replay it. But of course, we do get a little confused because the area in play means the hog line, the far hog line to the back line. So we have two things of in play. The stone is in play once it crosses the T line, I guess, but it has to stay in between the hog line and the far back line to stay in play for that end.
A wide open first end, second draw of the Labatt Brier, first skip stone. This is Kevin Martin.
Okay. It's there.
Looks good.
Boy, that's quick, eh? Man, oh man.
This is the T-line we're talking about right here. So if you're throwing from this end, the minute you cross that T-line, that rock is in play, and you must release it and deliver it. You can't stop. If you stop before you get there, then before the stone crosses, you could actually start your delivery over again.
Little scratch there on the 12-foot, Roddy. Top 12.
So again, a wide open first end. They did try and get something going earlier in this end, but the last few stones have been played into the rings for Peter to play the hit.
Alex McDonald, Ford Mercury. It's one of the oldest dealerships in PEI, in business about 35 years.
All the way. Come on.
Just plain.
Well.
Plain only.
Well. Come on. Hurry. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Kevin wasn't sure he wanted us to televise his
A little bit of stuff laying around, eh? Be careful.
I was waiting for that to come out.
Yeah, he said, not you guys again, every time I get on television.
Well, he was in all 4 semifinals of our stops on the World Curling Tour before Christmas, and he lost every time.
No.
Kevin's Curling Supplies is his store. His wife, Sean, of course, runs the Devon Child Care Center, and she's here, as always.
Roll it, Sean.
Roll.
Your way.
Right over.
Of course, the only good thing about the fact he was on television 4 times is he obviously was making a bit of cash along the way.
Yep. And there's Shauna on the right. Hi to everybody at the Devon Child Care Center.
Kevin is the Players Association representative from his area and is very active in the Players Association, as well as the Curling Tour, of course. Ran a tremendous event for the World Curling Tour in the Edmonton Mall we covered last fall, Vic. A terrific event.
And already, he said, planning is underway. Final stone, then, of this first 10. Prince Edward Island. And their skip, Peter McDonald, looking to blank.
Right up. Right. Whoa.
He won't. He'll sit right there for his single here in the first. So we're underway. Alberta, Prince Edward Island in this second draw. The 96 Labatt Brier.
Is that so?
We're not quite sure what to call it, but everyone seems to have it. The desire to go somewhere, the urge to do something. Bell Mobility salutes the spirit in all of us that makes us want to move. Where you want to go is your business. Letting you go with confidence is ours, because gravity should be the only thing holding you down. The only way to go, Bell Mobility.
Imagine an automobile where every component is engineered to such precise tolerances, it feels as if it were formed from a single piece of steel. Introducing the all-new Mercury Sable. The 1996 Mercury Sable, now available in sedan or wagon for the same price. Imagine that.
Imagine yourself in a Mercury.
We make maple leaf wieners for Courtney, who will only eat Mr. Broccoli if he hasn't touched Mr. Gravy. We make maple leaf wieners for Tim, who says peas explode in his mouth. And for Caitlin, whose scrambled eggs must be shaped like little boats. Maple leaf wieners have a taste made especially for kids. For Kenny, who won't eat anything with sauce, and Jason, who won't eat anything without sauce, there will always be maple leaf.
Aha! Oh, hi! I'm using this ordinary telescope to take a look at auto repairs. My hunch is we're going to see something kind of interesting here, and look, there it is right now. At some places, you're not allowed to see what's going on with your car. However, at Midas, things are completely different. Look at this. They take you under the car. They let you see just what needs fixing and what can wait. You're in the loop, I tell you. Midas, the way it should be.
Second draw nicely underway, so let's begin our Labatt Brier updates. We'll start with Saskatchewan and New Brunswick. First appearance for both these two as they had the afternoon off. Ross Montgomery with final stone out of Moose Jaw, looking to blank, but will hit and stick for one against Mike Kennedy from the Beaver Club in Moncton. British Columbia and Quebec both coming off afternoon wins. Barry McPhee from Kamloops, Don Westphal from Buckingham, Quebec. British Columbia with Last Rock. And look at all the stones in play here. The shooter will roll too far. He had the chance for two, but he'll settle for one. BC takes the lead. Quebec will have Last Rock playing the second. Meanwhile, in the other game on the ice, Nova Scotia, Brian Rafuse picks up the single against Bob Ingram, both losers in the opening draw. Rafuse from Bridgewater and Bob Ingram from Ridgetown, just outside of Chatham, Ontario.
Well, here's a sign of what Kevin Martin wants to do in this game. In the first end, he did try to get a stone short of the house in the center line area. Didn't succeed, and so the hits were exchanged. Now the stone, the first stone of the end, comes into the back 8 foot. Alberta ignore it. Kevin Martin puts up the corner guard.
Wait, Don.
In the free guard zone area, can't be removed from play, so PEI is going to try and protect their stone, but now we do see some stones in play, and Alberta will try to generate that offense.
Well, earlier today, Jim Smith was a boater. So is Rod McDonald. He's got a 35-foot Princess, a couple of Volvo engines. Does a lot of yachting in the Northumberland Strait over to New Brunswick, and just goes around the island a few times, he says.
Keep it clean now. Just clean. Good spot, Rod.
Remember the question from Ryan McDonald about when a stone is officially in play. And we said T-line.
Well, it is the T-line, Vic, and it's kind of interesting. This is Terry Braunstein in the 1958 Brier in Victoria, actually, that I have the pleasure to play in. And you'll watch now Terry's throwing it, big backswing as he's coming out of there. Now, the T-line is right there, and you can see that he's crossed it. And he keeps going and keeps going. And now at this point, he doesn't like his delivery, doesn't think he's on line. He stops. Now, it was shortly after that, and actually we were one of the people responsible for that. He goes back and starts again, because at that time it was the hog line, as long as you had not passed the hog line. And so Terry actually and Ronnie did that on numerous occasions, and the next year they changed the rule to the T line.
Of course, I was still trying to explain why I didn't know what the question was all about, because I also explained that there is a difference now with time clocks in play. And if the time clock is running down near zero, you just have to be into your delivery, and then the time is allowed, the stone is allowed to continue in play. So there's all those confusing aspects. And does that explain why I looked at you so blankly when the question came up?
And our thanks to Glenn, Willie, and Rick in videotape for digging that up for us. Thank you, fellas.
Alberta did try to run back one stone, missed the one in the house, and didn't roll very far. That's why PEI was able to get the second stone into the house, so Alberta now will try the run back again.
So I said to Sean Broda here, I said, you know, on your resume, your curling resume, there's nothing to speak of, no juniors. And he said, you know what, I've been in 5 different Alberta provincials, whether it be men's play, mixed, juniors. So he does have lots, he just hasn't won anything.
What a great shot that is. He got the rock and the roll into the rings. It almost stayed behind the corner. I think it's accessible, but it's a tough shot out there.
Alberta does have hammer here in this second end of play.
It really is fun to watch Kevin play, because when he has to go to the big shot, he certainly has that, as does throwers like Russ Howard, like Wayne Madaw. But he loves to play this game soft and quiet as well.
Easy.
PEI decided not to go after the one that's in the 12-foot. They're actually trying to draw in now behind the guard.
Come on.
Trying to put the second one in place.
That's good. Well,
it's going to be in the open, so they'll leave it short.
Normal weight.
Here's a chance for Kevin. You can see he's going to hit this one, and the shooter will then go over and catch the back of this stone, and he hopes to roll it in the rings as well. He would have 2 in there. That's the plan. Let's watch for the execution. Oh, he got the double. Plan B. That's a nice thing about a shot like that, Linda. That possibility of the double is certainly there. His first indication was to hit it on the outside and come off the back of the other one and roll into the rings, but he got the double.
Well, there were a couple of options, and so far Sean's filling the shoes of Don Walchuk, who moved to third very nicely, making some big shots.
The PEI third is Grant Summers.
There's still the centerline guards, but let's remember there is the yellow stone on the side of the 12-foot. PEI has to be very careful about how they position this rock.
Lots of room, guys. A lot of room.
The shading area is the edge of the 4-foot.
No, a lot of room.
It's an outside-in shot.
Come on now.
These are different.
What
kind of brushes are these?
It's a synthetic brush. It swivels, I believe, does it not?
Yeah, actually, both of the brooms the teams are using have the opportunity to move at different angles to allow that angle to get closer to the other broom and also closer to the stone.
Here. It's just heavy draw.
Thank you, Donald. Heavy draw.
Lots of weight.
Hip. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, then. Never. No. Stay close. No. Okay, whoa then. Whoa. Hit it as solid as we can.
Won't push it quite far enough. They had to wait for it to curl enough so they couldn't sweep it to try and hit it a little harder.
Grant is the correctional officer at the Prince Corrections Center. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, telling you and I as well, Ray's a scratch golfer.
Clean.
6-time member of the PEI team, Wellington Cup.
Whoa! Move.
Yeah, I'm pretty envious of that. I just would love to get it down anywhere close to 10.
Let it move.
This is my year. I just feel it in my bones.
Okay, just a little heavy though.
Lots of money from you and Director Richard Wells, I predict this year.
Throw boards. Nice controlled weight
hangs
there.
a little. Excuse me. Wanted a little roll in behind. This allows Kevin to get it.
Board. Yep. Oh. Don Walchuk. Oh. Two-time Canadian world champion. I don't think we got it, Pat Ryan.
Well, Don was actually going for the alternate plan. That's why he was calling down to sweep. He was going for the double.
Just that.
Kevin said it wasn't going to hang out long enough, so he just sat in the open.
And try to get the roll into this area here.
It'll be interesting to see how the middle part of the lineups go against each other because the PEI second and third are left-handed. Let's remember they throw the opposite turn to the right-handed player, and often the in-turn gets a little more action, so we'll see if that makes a difference in those two positions.
Skip Stones here in the second. And the first from PEI's Peter McDonald.
Gotta move. Gotta move. Oh, right off. Right off.
It's a great view of the center band, the 4-foot band, and how that rock isn't coming off the edge of it.
It's too heavy.
Well, Peter, in Peter's words, he said, I threw it too heavy.
Oh, he knows, eh? Well, there's the coach. That's Jules Oucher. He's been working with Kevin Martin for 11 years now. And he's the one that recommended Sean Broda, coaching him, recommended him to Kevin when they were looking for the player, and it's worked out well, as Ray and Linda have said.
Very familiar delivery from
Clean. Yep.
Hurt hard. Really hard.
Yep.
Clean.
Clean.
Kevin Martin.
Yep.
No backswing.
Hard.
Big leg drive. Obviously, Peter McDonald looking for this roll once again. If he doesn't get it, he could give up a deuce.
Board weight. Let's get the roll.
the roll.
A little surprised there, a little confused by this patch of ice right now.
I think it's very similar to what we saw this afternoon and what Ray showed us in the reading the ice, where it goes straight on the outside in turn.
There you go.
That's why it's hard to get the rolls to center with this turn.
Easy.
So he's playing the out turn. Could you play the in turn at this then?
Whoa!
Sure could.
I haven't seen it very much. He may want to play the turn he knows the best, but it is tough to get it to move.
No roll again. It sits right there. So the chance with the hit and stick for 2.
Oh. You can see where Don Walchuk put his brush down right on the edge of the stone.
I got it.
Just a little house cleaning there at this moment. There it is, right on the edge of the stone. That's what we indicated in the reading the ice segment from the outside in. Kevin won't throw it big time. He'll throw that control weight that he throws so well. Nose hit for a deuce.
Mine will curl more than his, eh? His back.
It was the nice shot by Sean Broder early in this end that pushed that other stone into the rings and
Clean.
sets up this deuce.
Clean, clean. Shot, Kevin, that boy.
Jammed it at the back. Still scored as 2. Alberta moves in front after 2 here in the second draw.
My dream house would be a big house with stairs that go like this and have a big chandelier. There would be a humongous horse. I'd have the main floor, and it would have a room for my pets. Rusty. His name is Rusty.
To see how you can be home free faster, get expert help, the right plan, and guaranteed competitive rates, see your CIBC personal banker or call now.
1,000 times bigger than this.
At CIBC, we're working to see what you see.
My father always said, remember, son, to make it to the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta, you need determination, perseverance, and an iron will. Then he forgets the one bloomin' thing you really need.
Ah! Forgot your Visa card!
Visa.
How far?
The only card accepted at this Olympic Games.
That was my dad, wasn't it?
Visa. It's the only card you need.
Maybe you think only those jet set types need a Nokia cellular phone.
Hi, it's me. Flight's delayed.
Well, now Nokia's making cellular phones so easy.
Late. Can I skip my bath?
They're practically child's play.
Attention, Flight 11 is delayed.
Can I call you back?
With Nokia's big, easy-to-read screens, last number redial, and sleek designs.
No, don't hold dinner. I'm eating my body weight in hot dogs. No, wait up. You gotta tuck me in.
So get set to join the jet set. Nokia, Europe's leading cellular phone, also made in America, connecting people.
I'll have the chili.
Chili? You should know better.
And I'll have the fries.
Fries? You should know better.
And now I'll have Tums Ultra.
New Tums Ultra is our highest strength ever. It goes to work in seconds, neutralizing stomach acid to relieve heartburn and indigestion fast. And unlike many antacids, Tums Ultra has calcium.
Something your body uses anyway. You'll like that.
I'll have the chili. I know. I should know.
Update for you, Saskatchewan against New Brunswick after Rod Montgomery from Moose Jaw had taken 1 in the first. Mike Kennedy from New Brunswick, the Beaver in Moncton. His final stone by the guard. And he'll jam as he didn't come across the face to score 1. Saskatchewan, New Brunswick tied 1-1 going to 3. British Columbia against Quebec. Barry McPhee took 1 in the first. Final stone, Don Westphal from Buckingham, Quebec. Makes the hit and stick for 2, and so Quebec leads it 2-1 as they go to the second. Now we go live to the game between Nova Scotia and Ontario as they play the third end. It's 1-0. Nova Scotia leading. Final stone for Bob Ingram out of Ridgetown. He'll make the hit and stick on that stone on the button for his single. So they're tied 1-1 after 3.
Hi, I'm Karen. I'm Andy Lou. Joanne. Karen.
And what's whose birthday?
Happy birthday, Karen. Happy birthday.
Hello. Peter McDonald's wife Karen's birthday is tomorrow, and we wish her a very happy birthday.
Not too tight.
PEI supporters here in Kamloops.
Curl quite a bit, eh?
Well, the indication, there's no question that Kevin Martin is going to play offense, and he gets a deuce, an honest deuce, exchange of stones, and now he throws this one out in front. May have wanted it a little bit tighter than that, and curled off the center line, which was surprised. You heard his comment. And Peter McDonald's going right around behind him.
Room, lots of room, on its own, on its own.
Now watch the late
on its
finish.
Own. On its own. No, come on now, little, come on. Come on, right back, John. Come
He
on.
had the perfect weight. It just
Right back.
didn't come in enough, early
Okay.
enough to get the finish on behind that guard.
He threw it there by himself. If you throw it there with a little bit of brushing, I think you get a lot more movement. Even at that, he was trying to break. Tap back. Another familiar face, Vic.
Yeah, Donnie Bartlett wanted to say hello to his parents back in Newfoundland. His parents are in Gander, and his grandparents are in Corner Brook.
Wait's good.
And to everybody at the main postal station in Edmonton.
Wait, Don.
Bill Egan wants to know, can a 5th player be brought on for anything other than injury or sickness?
Well, the 5th player can be used at any time prior to the start of the game. Technically, I think, Ray, they're supposed to bring them in during a game only due to some circumstance where the player cannot continue. Not like the designated hitter or something where you could bring them in to play if the player isn't playing well.
Bring in the left-hander.
Yeah, that's right.
Catch that angle.
We appreciate all the comments on the internet. However, we do ask you, if you do write us, to let us know where you're writing from, please.
Hacks.
Great roll.
Sean Broda.
You can see about a half of it. Waits up.
Sorry, Sean, it's my fault.
Kevin called the brushers on, and he heard him admit to Sean that it was my fault. I should have just left it, let it break, and then hold it.
No? So they, in fact, jumped it, did they, and straightened it out?
Exactly. Exactly right, Vic.
Come on. Right side. Little tight.
John Postman.
Did you have a chance to play in one of your games last week when you were home? Or
we won.
Another victory. What a season you're having.
Right up. Come on.
Still in the A flight.
Right up.
Just made the break early.
Yeah.
Nice weight, John.
Interesting. Here's Sean and like Don Walchuk, both from Melville, Saskatchewan originally.
Oh, off.
Yep.
Look at that, tucks about a half a stone in behind.
Well, Ray did mention we may see times change a little bit. It may get faster as the game progresses. At the moment, draw between the hog lines is 13.5 seconds. Takeouts are 9.5 seconds. Actually, some of these players, we say peel 7.5. These players can really throw it. They may even get lower than that as far as those really fast takeouts go. As Ray mentioned, that slide path in the middle is what we keep track of to see if it gets keener as the game progresses.
Well, it was a terrific roll, and Peter played it tight and got the front one off.
What do you think? Nice ball.
Sure, let's guard it. Kevin says.
Alberta leading 2-1 as we play the third. Prince Edward Island with the hammer. the guard the first time we saw Kevin Martin. He's changed.
Halfway.
Hasn't he? It's a personal thing. I mean,
Maybe a little tighter.
I don't know. It suggests he's just matured. There's a maturation for him.
Yeah, of course, that doesn't happen to all of us.
But right off the bat, he was a great player.
Oh, yeah.
We were so impressed with him in Hamilton. And he's very
Line's
cool under
nice.
pressure.
And
Executed
overcurl,
those
if
hits,
anything.
as we
Just
said, very
clean.
well. But also the draws, the key pressure draws, this get has to make.
Hurry! Hurry! Right up.
I think one of the things
Right
that
up.
happens
Every inch.
to critters as the years go by is that as you get a little older and you play the game more, you get more appreciation for the sport itself, and a better feeling for it. I think when you're very young, of course, winning is everything, and sometimes you get locked in that end of it. And that certainly was true in our case. I remember, we won as young kids, and then we had a hard time getting back. And it's when we got put together a team that kind of got a little more relaxed. We had more success because we wanted it so badly.
Line's pretty good.
We have room.
A good
Line's
guard
real
forces
good.
this shot.
Watch it. Come on.
Watch it.
Come on. For line.
Quick.
Hurry it. Whoa. Oh, it's heavy. Heavy.
Well, they weren't communicating that very well. It would have been better to
Grant.
rub the front one rather than go right through, and the sweepers weren't calling out for the skip to know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Lynn. You've got to get the front one as opposed to missing everything there.
I don't know if I like that.
Huh? What do you guys think?
Want to try to get to here?
Sure.
Where beside the other one make the ball pass?
Oh, we're kind of guessing for weight and line here, but
We'll listen to Don.
Hurry for line. Hurry. Start. Okay.
you guys,
Bring as far as you'll come. Hurry.
right up. Come on, hard guys, get a bite. Come on.
They started sweeping right out of his hand, and they're calling out that it's a little light.
That's good. Oh.
Good shot. Not nearly enough ice.
When we talk about ice, fast ice. Ice that's fast, requires less force. That's why it's so confusing. But actually it takes longer to get down the ice. You don't have to give it much weight, but it drags along. And I always use the analogy as on a golf course. When you're putting a golf ball, when the green is fast, the grass is short, maybe dry, the ball doesn't need a lot of force to get to the hole, but it seems to roll forever to get there. That's the confusing part of ice, but we do call it fast ice here, especially down that center path. You have to be very careful not to give it too much force out of the hat.
Stay there, somebody.
Very little rotation on the handle on this stone.
Wow, it's losing it.
It's losing its handle, actually, and as a result, it wasn't curling
Lost the handle bit. You just roll out. It's not
as they
bad.
predicted.
Huh?
I like just throwing it just through.
Okay.
Well, that was an interesting little conversation that Don and Kevin had. Don was suggesting that they hit this stone.
Bump it.
Hit the back stone and roll out, but Kevin wants to come across the face of it.
Yeah.
Give it
Well,
another
just
try.
trying to get a piece of it.
Hit this stone
Let's go back
and
line.
roll out. Don suggested that, and Kevin said, no, let's come across the face, hit it, and try and get the little roll to the inside.
Of course, the concern being if it sits right there, it actually benefits the PEI team. That's what they were hoping to do, getting this somewhere in play for shot rock. So Alberta had to make the play on it, and they might be able to get right back on top of it afterwards.
Wait for it. First stone for the Alberta skip. Here in this third, he leads 2-1 over PEI. Hard. Yes, Bob. Get on it. Hard. Okay, good.
Must do that, Brent.
Yeah.
It almost broke enough, didn't it?
Okay.
Peter McDonald quietly said, let's just come up to it, so he wants to sit right in front of it, right there.
Just to him.
Just to him. Prince Edward Island has never won Canadian Men's Curling Championship. Second year together for this team out of the Silver Fox Curling and Yacht Club.
Right up.
Right up. Right up. Don't touch.
Didn't curl quite enough.
Throw a lid, eh?
Get out a bit.
Got it outside a bit.
Yeah.
And he got it there without any brushing either.
He's got nothing for more than anything more than one, eh?
I guess we could bump it.
Huh?
Let's bump it and roll here.
Yeah.
Same shot, as long as it doesn't hang on me. Or rack.
Or maybe you want to just throw a hit at it. A lot of room. Just throw it.
Yeah, but if I hit, I'll probably get rid of everything. Point to he's drawing against one.
Well, hit and roll. Just to hit and roll. If you don't want to play quiet weight, you got a lot of room. Whatever you want.
Have a look at him.
Okay.
Kevin's
Let's
first.
play the same shot. Give me the same ice.
Okay.
Just
Don
bump it and roll.
Listen to them, of course. Don wanted to just
Do you like
hit
this?
it.
Same shot.
Play the roll. Kevin is suggesting we take more ice and play the same shot. Quiet, come down, just tap it back slightly, and sit right in here.
4-2.
And of course, the reason Don was having that conversation is Kevin was a little afraid this might hang like the PEI stone.
Stay close.
Whoa!
Close. Close.
Roll it, Sean.
Nice shot. July 2.
Good.
So now they're forced to come the other way.
Well, with that quiet weight, this one did make its move late to get the nice angle on the redstone.
Yeah, looks like you're out there. Okay. I don't know.
I believe you. I had nice weight on both of them. I'm halfway.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, a nice weight.
Well, you see Peter McDonald walk right over the other side of the sheet, and he's just going to put the broom down in this area here, right about there, and play the draw to the 4-foot for a single.
Yeah, he'll leave full 4. As he draws against 2. Trailing 2-1 as we play the third.
Is that a thing right in the, on the club right there? Piece of straw. You got it.
Piece of straw?
Who throws? Oh, Donnie Walchuk throws with a corner.
That's right, he does.
This is a big shot and an entirely different path of ice than he threw previously.
And you point out, Linda, it could be 3 that he's drawing against because there is another Alberta zone hanging onto the top of the 8.
Wait only.
Come on. Well, come on.
Oh, wait only.
Rod McDonald, John Postmore there. They need full 4.
That's exactly the time we were referring to. We'll see if our times were correct for the button.
Come on.
Needs it. Come on. Look at that. Is that a pressure draw? You bet it is. Peter McDonald drawing against. Indeed, it was 3. Puts it on the lid to even it up after 3 hits, and that'll keep them happy. And boy, you know, if he wins the game, it'll be a happy birthday for wife Karen. We played 3. Second draw, Labatt Brier.
This sports break is brought to you by Labatt Blue, the true Canadian lager.
And welcome back to the TSN Newsroom. I'm Rod Smith. 4 games going on this evening in the National Hockey League, including the hard luck Leafs, losers of 6 straight, trying to turn their luck around in Dallas tonight. And the new Leafs player, Nick Kypreos, trying to endear himself to his teammates after Doug Gilmour takes a high stick. Kypreos right in there to his defense. Too bad he cannot come to the defense of the defense. The Leafs standing around. Greg Adams all alone in the slot. Buries it 1-0 Dallas. Leafs defense non-existent again. Brent Gilchrist all alone in the slot there. Felix Potvin at his mercy. 2-0, now 3-0. Mike Modano adding a goal there for Dallas. Scores and highlights, Sports Desk after curling. We'll head back to the Labrat Brier right after this.
As one goes forth to unearth new treasures, one mustn't let primordial perspiration mess with one's style. Consider this discovery. Right guard, pure power, clear gel, antiperspirant. An astoundingly clear gel. Thus, it goes on clear without any flaky white stuff. After all, when it comes to protection, one shouldn't mess around. Right guard, clear gel. Anything less would be uncivilized.
In a clinic like this, I can't stop for a headache. The doctor here told me about Advil. It's tough on pain, and it really works fast. In fact, 1 Advil is as effective as 2 regular strength Tylenol. And for cold and sinus congestion, there's Advil Cold and Sinus. It's tough on colds, like Advil is on pain. And now it's available without a prescription.
Advil and Advil Cold and Sinus. Tough on pain, tough on cold congestion.
Hi, I'm Peter Bradley. I'm one of the camera operators here for TSN, and I have tonight's brain teaser question for you. Who is the only player in this year's field who has represented 2 provinces at the Brier? Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. We are at the Riverside Coliseum, a magnificent facility here in Kamloops for this, the 1996 Labatt Brier. And pressure shooting early for Prince Edward Island and their skip, Peter McDonald, in the 3rd.
Well, we talked about it. The path was different than his first draw, so he had to really be careful not to give it too much weight. Just perfect line. The sweepers were on and off it. That's always a good sign. They got on it a little bit to keep it clean. Right to the button, so you know Peter McDonald got his draw weight, and what a great shot.
And you're right, it was 3, Linda. 3rd point sitting top of the 8-foot. As we go to the 4th, all even, and Alberta now with the hammer in a 2-2 tie. Rod McDonald.
Quite a different start to this game than the one we had this afternoon that was so wide open at the start.
Easy.
Right from the beginning,
Easy.
these
Right
teams
off.
have shown us offense.
On its
Again,
own.
this end.
On its own.
Center line stone
On
goes
its own.
up. A corner guard goes up. We have 2 stones in the free guard zone area. A 3rd guard now. Lots of opportunity to get around these rocks.
Normal weight. Even nose is fine.
Fourth Brier appearance for Don Bartlett.
Oh, just like it's hit at the... Like it's hitting
There's that in turn from the left-hander. Caught something right away. Look at it. It's just spinning sideways. They've been looking at the ice actually throughout this game, looking for little bits.
Okay, Don.
Sometimes we see
All right.
fibers come off the carpet. You really can't tell what it is, but definitely is something they're going to have to watch.
Down normal.
that rock off the center line.
Sean Broda.
Shot.
And he'll leave his own stone there. Update for you, Nova Scotia against Ontario as they play the fourth end. Final stone for the skip from Bridgewater, Brian Rafuse. Makes the hit. And the stone won't roll far enough. He gets two. Looks like he had a chance for three. Nova Scotia ahead of Bob Ingram from Ridgetown. It's now 3-1 as they go to 5.
Hurry. 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 Right up.
Trying to come
Well
around,
done.
but it's the opponent's guard they're trying to draw around, and this one's going to curl too much.
That's all.
A great chance for Alberta to play the split.
Just a little overdraw weight, throw back 4-foot weight, looking for the split, just catch the
lot of weight.
Center rock on the outside.
Stay close. Yep. Yep. Hit it thin. Yep. Hit it thin. Hurry.
Weight's not bad. Oh, okay. Hey.
Look at this. You know, he was saying so far his entire career he played
That was a little
usually
big.
skip or third. So this has been an adjustment for Sean Broda as well, Linda, that he has to play, you know, in this case it was a nice soft shot, but he said he's now playing more of the upweight shots, and it's been an adjustment for him.
Definitely would be, and let's face it, coming into a new team mid-season is also an adjustment, so he's doing very well. One stone is open. That's the one they'll go after. PEI, Grant
Right off.
Summers.
Right off.
His outside in shot just doesn't go anywhere. It stays right out there.
I don't know. What do you think, Don? Go here? I don't really like going here in case you slip
Go the
behind.
outside? Huh?
Go here.
You'd think eventually realizing that one shot that
Think it's the same out
Summers
here?
just played, that outside in is Ray refers to it, runs so straight,
You can
that
make up for that.
eventually they would go to the other turn.
Well, it's tough. Some teams have that philosophy where they like to play the outside in, and when you've played it all year, it is tough to make an adjustment. That's why we talk about it's nice
for weight.
to
Line's
learn
nice.
both sides, to play them more regularly so that you're more prepared if you need to, because definitely this week we're going to see that one turn go a little bit straighter.
Hard!
Ray showed us the options here. Alberta decided to go to the open. That's the one with less risk in some ways, because if they try to come around and don't make it perfectly, PEI would have an easier hit and roll or tap back to get behind the guard.
Down.
It leaves PEI the opportunity to come down. They're going to play the straight turn again, hit this one, and try and roll in behind this rock here. I kind of agree with you, Linda. I think getting the roll is easier with the, in this case, the inside-out shot as opposed to the outside-in.
Close.
Come on.
Too hard to judge these.
Well,
Grant Summers
Come on.
gets a little bit of half a turn.
You want just down normal? Down?
The straw room that Don Walchuk used to throw with.
Wow.
The weight signal
Clean.
was for down normal,
Clean,
a little bit less weight than normal takeout weight to try and get that roll.
Hard, 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 hard. Oh! Sorry, Don.
And out the other side. Update for you. British Columbia against Quebec as they play in the fourth. 2-1, Quebec leading. Final stone, Barry McPhee from the Kamloops Curling Club. Needs a hit and stick for 2, and that's what he gets. So they'll go to 5. British Columbia leading 3-2 Quebec. Team from Buckingham with the hammer.
I can get that. I can get it behind my, yeah, just half. Oh yeah, I think so.
Close to a finish.
Don's rock rolled just a little bit too far. It is accessible for Peter McDonald, and he thinks he can get the roll behind the guard.
Moving this one, trying to roll right in behind this guard right here.
Come on.
First stone for the PEI skip.
Whoa.
Here in 4, Alberta with hammer.
Hurry! Quick! Hurry! 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 Right up!
Oh. Boy, they did a great job just to get it by, and then it pops out the other side.
Well, again, they left it at the beginning. If they'd gotten on it with the brushes earlier, I think they might have held it longer on that center line.
Too good, eh?
We've seen great numbers on that, all those Alberta players.
Clean. Hurry. Clean. Whoa! Whoa! Hurry. Whoa! Hurry. Clean. 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 Yes! Hard! Pull! Hard! Hard!
That's a very nice roll by Kevin. It's got a lovely soft release and that nice quiet weight. He got the extra movement at the end. Very nice roll.
Tucks half a stone behind, it looks.
Great roll.
Yeah.
Alberta line 2.
Boy, he hasn't got a lot. He can certainly
Sure,
get to this stone here, but
top 12's fine, guys.
you can see the.
We can get right around. Keep it coming
2.
if it's buried. Okay.
So I think this is what he's trying here. Trying to get into this area here, behind this rock. You're better off almost right beside it, because then you can't raise the other one back onto it.
The pressure's been on Peter already. Let's remember last end drawing against 3. He made his great shot. This end the opponent's sitting 2, and they have last rock. He's got to get this into position.
Wait only.
Lots of room. Lots of room.
Whoa.
Lots of room.
Where is it? Right off.
They're calling out that it's too strong, and definitely the time of the hog line says that.
Come on! Come on! Hurry!
Right back.
They get buried as much as they can.
That did slow down a lot more than we've seen in the past. That didn't slide.
Should have had it early, I guess. No.
Yeah. I don't think he's suggesting as well didn't finish for him.
No. Reacted quite strangely at the end, actually.
Quiet hit now for 3.
This is where you threw your intern nose. Goes pretty good here.
Watch it close. Even if we had half a rock roll out, it's not the worst.
Kevin says he'd settle for his 2, but this is obviously a chance for 3 for Alberta here in the 4th. They're tied 2-2.
Whoa.
Clean.
Clean. Whoa, whoa.
Clean.
Clean.
Whoa. Don't lose it.
Clean. Whoa, 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 whoa. Clean, clean, clean. Oh, boy.
No mistakes.
Absolutely none for 3 for Alberta. Kevin Martin and his team from the Otwell and Edmonton jump in front 5-2 over PEI going to the 5th. Rod McDonald, Don Bartlett are the leads. John Postma, Sean Broda throw second stones. Grant Summers is the third, along with Don Walchuk. Peter McDonald skips the Prince Edward Island team from the Silver Fox Curling and Yacht Club in Summerside, and it's Kevin Martin from the Otwell Curling Club in Edmonton. And will they have a chance to win this, the Labatt Brier 10?
It's been 2 weeks. What do you mean? I mean every day for 2 weeks. Every day? Every day. And it's good? It's very good. 2 weeks, huh? Oh, yeah. What does your wife think? She thinks it's great. You should try it. Oh, I'm gonna try it. Good.
They're talking about Kellogg's All Bran. It's very high in fiber. Make it part of your complete breakfast for 2 weeks and see how you feel about it.
How do you feel about it? Good. You feel good? I knew that I would.
Kellogg's All Bran. Try it for 2 weeks. Love it forever.
We make maple leaf wieners for Courtney, who will only eat Mr. Broccoli if he hasn't touched Mr. Gravy. We make maple leaf wieners for Tim, who says peas explode in his mouth. And for Caitlin, whose scrambled eggs must be shaped like little boats. Maple leaf wieners have a taste made especially for kids. For Kenny, who won't eat anything with sauce, and Jason, who won't eat anything without sauce, there will always be maple leaf.
Out on the ice, I don't score points for how my hair looks. But after the game, in front of the press, when the cameras are just inches away and millions of fans are watching, my hair has to look great. And great hair can't have flakes. No way. So I get rid of them with Head & Shoulders. It keeps my dandruff in check and my hair looking great. Hey, you can't hide under a helmet all the time.
Head & Shoulders, every day.
With great hair, can't have flakes.
The museum closes in 10 minutes.
There's no toilet paper. Oh boy, here we go. Hey, this way.
Introducing new Scott Purex Extra. It's as pillowy soft and strong as ever, but now it's also extra long. In fact, it's a double roll.
I'm coming, I'm coming. This Scott stuff never runs out.
Scott Purex Extra. Soft, strong, and now twice as long.
Welcome you back to the Riverside Coliseum here in Kamloops, and our home away from home. This is where we watch all the games that you're watching at home in this beautiful facility that seats 6,000, built some 3 years ago for about $15 million, they tell us. Home of the Kamloops Blazers. Marvelous facility. Our featured game is Prince Edward Island against Alberta. Kevin Martin explodes for 3 in the 4th to take a 5-2 lead over Peter McDonald. PEI now to have last rock as we play 5.
And after that big 3-ender, we knew that Alberta would probably want to keep things a little more open, and definitely they put the first stone into the house on the button. PEI has no choice, though. They have to put up the guard.
Hey, Rob.
From the Hintons in Edson, Alberta, what exactly is the rule regarding sweeping? It seems some players aren't sweeping by the book.
Well, what they're referring to is the amount of motion the brush has in front of the stone and the fact that it covers the entire surface. The rule is that there must be some motion side to side and that the last stroke must be away so there's no debris left in the path of the stone. And it appears to me that both teams are doing an adequate job of that. What happens sometimes when you use these brooms that have the angled heads, the motion isn't as apparent as when this brush is going exactly back and forth with the head turned perpendicular to the stone. So We'll keep an eye on it, but it looks like the players are doing an adequate job of brushing.
Come on, hurry. Whoa. Whoa. Hurry. Whoa. Your roll, Grant.
Some of the problem with the brushing occurs not intentionally. We've talked about people trying to corner sweep, and that means they're trying to sweep on one half of the stone or the other, thinking it has some effect of a positive nature, obviously, for them.
Weight.
That hasn't been proven, and generally speaking, if a player is sweeping on a corner, it's not intentional. For example, Grant Summers is a former skip, probably hasn't done a lot of sweeping, and he's not always, it seems, getting his body entirely in position to sweep right across the face, but definitely they seem to be intending to do the job as the book requires.
My fault, Chad. Just tracked a little bit on us there.
Just a reminder, John Wells will be with you Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, TSN Sunday. Start your day with John Wells and TSN Sunday. The PEI second, John Postma.
Easy.
Whoa.
Through. Wait only. Line's good. Got a curl. Oh no. Let it curl.
Looking for the freeze here. Sit right in front of it.
Shot, Johnny.
With the ability of this team to throw the up weight, it's very, very difficult to get them to jam one of these. You have to be right on the nose. This has got the perfect angle to be squeezed out.
Lane. Linda Ray keeping our eye on the game between British Columbia and Quebec as they play 5-3-2 BC leading. Harry McPhee playing against the team from Buckingham, Quebec, Don Westphal. This the final stone. They'll play up that stone to the back 8 for the single, and they'll go to the 5th end break, all tied 3-3. Both those teams winners in the opening draw Saturday afternoon.
I do.
Both very impressive in those first games. BC making a couple of big shots, and Quebec keeping a lot of rocks in play and showing a lot of excitement as well.
Very upright delivery by Tom Postma. I looked because I thought he was a much taller man. He's 6 feet tall, but he seems to be very up in his upper body range. You notice that?
Yeah, he's up good and high. He's got great control of his sliding leg. He keeps the body very much under control throughout the whole delivery, which I believe is really a key when you're throwing from the balanced delivery.
Makes a wonderful come around there. I think some people might notice the difference, Vic, because last week at the women's event, we saw people like Kathy Overton-Clapham get very low to the ice. Generally speaking, I think women are a little more flexible, get a little closer to the ice. Both deliveries are good, though.
No question, but you have to control that sliding leg. Talking about Kathy, that's one of the things that she does maybe, let herself do sometimes incorrectly. She gets a little low too quick, and we work with that. Kathy and I work with that the odd time. He's very high. He's actually higher than most people. And that's dictated so many times by your, the way you're built and your overall physique.
We're midway through this second draw here in Kamloops. Get yourself caught up on the scores of your favorite teams.
Referring to the delivery, of course, the important thing is that the player comes out square, shoulders square to the target, and of course that final release is clean. The hand comes up nicely to the brim.
And the left-hander, the out turn, looking for the guard.
Line's good. Line's good.
On its own.
A little bit.
On its own.
I don't want these together because that'll allow a double. Of course, they're putting up the guard to try and generate more offense rather than just hitting the yellow stone and sitting 2. And now those stones are a bit too close together.
No. How much separation? What do I need?
You're only playing. You're playing the 5th. You trail by 3. Could you not exchange
Yeah.
stones, look for the 2, and go to the break?
Yeah, you could have gone that time and laid 2 and tried to exchange 2 stones.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yep.
You're only halfway through the game.
If you're going to play this particular shot, as I mentioned, you can't have them this tight together because this team in particular, and this guy in particular,
Yes.
I mean, he's Mr. Rocket.
Yep. Yep. Oh.
Get them both. You bet.
And
Look at
rolls
that,
in.
the
Look at
shooter.
this.
And to cover his own. Goodness.
His heading was good.
First draw went this afternoon here at the Riverside Coliseum, and it was Quebec beating Manitoba and Jeff Stoughton. BC, Barry McPhee, a winner over Bob Ingram from Ontario. Newfoundland wins easily over Nova Scotia, and the Yukon Northwest Territories, Richard Robertson, a winner over Northern Ontario and the team from Timmins.
Hooray! Clean.
What a great shot that was,
Clean.
Lyndon. You just can't make a mistake against this team,
The other way.
especially a mistake
Whoa,
that allows
whoa,
them to
whoa.
throw the
Come
big
on,
weight.
Come on, John. Come on.
Grant Summers.
That's good. Whoa.
There's a very nice shot right back.
Nice double. Difference in weight, though. You notice that, Dick, on those kind of
Very
shots?
much so, yeah. The action
Oh.
on the raised stones, there was
That
no,
shouldn't be in.
there's no question about the 2 PEI stones going out, but that other yellow Alberta stone just barely made it out.
Tilt by about 3/4 of an inch. Wow, I'm not heavy on this gun.
This is a tough team to catch up on, I'll tell you.
It's going to need some help, Donnie. Ah, it's there. It's there. Come on, come on.
Skip,
we want some
saying,
key line.
panic,
Come on.
panic, panic.
Get it in.
Gonna need some help.
Looks like pretty good weight to
Look
me.
at this.
We maybe should remember
I
that.
believe how keen it is. The phone was very hard.
Gee, came up short of the tee line.
Get a roll out of that. Even if we can roll over there. Let's try it. Yeah, what the heck, eh?
Ted Burbage from Newmarket, Ontario. Where are the stones from and how were they selected for this competition?
Well, they were the stones used at the Scott Tournament of Hearts last year, and they are from Calgary. They are from a curling club in Calgary, actually, and selected by the ice makers to try and get consistency from one to the next. And they don't use local stones as much because they find that not everywhere do the stones react well in arenas. They react well in curling clubs,
Yeah,
but
we
with
got a
the
big
extra
roll, so
heat
I might
problems
throw it
that
now.
occur in arenas, they want to make sure that the granite and the running surface is the best for arena conditions.
As it really is the running surface. We met yesterday with the ice makers and the CCA, and we talked about stones, and it really is the running
Hurry.
surface that is so important.
Hurry. Right up. Right up. Whoa.
And from
Come on,
past
Ronnie,
usage,
come
we know
on.
that this
Right
particular
over.
set of stones are
Sorry,
matched perfectly and have terrific running surfaces.
And just to give the club a little plug, it's the West Winds Curling Club in Calgary that they come from.
They were used last year in the Scott Tournament of Hearts in Calgary.
Peter McDonald, he finds himself down by 3, playing the 5th. He does have last rock. Final stone of the end for Alberta,
Clean.
Kevin Martin.
Clean only. Hurry. Hurry. Good. Good.
That's good.
Kevin Martin has a real passion for this game in all aspects of it. The administrative end of it, he ran a tremendous event in Edmonton, and as you mentioned, Vic is working on it again for this coming fall. He's in the curling equipment business. He knows all ends of the business. He's a tremendous player.
In fact, no one really knows stones better than him. He supplies, by his estimation, some 80% of stones to Western Canada through his Kevin's Curling Supplies, all Thompson stones.
He's very, very knowledgeable.
Hi, Kark. Hi, Kalisha.
About stones. Shorty Jenkins, the ice maker here, and Hans Vutric, Shorty in particular, I think probably knows as much about running surfaces and stones as anybody in the world.
Final stone, fifth, as PEI and Peter McDonald look to blank.
Quick!
Well,
Quick! Come on! Hurry!
Clean.
catch a corner and run it out the side. So our first blank here in 5 means we'll go to the 5th end break. 5-2 Alberta leading PEI here in the second draw of the Labatt Brier.
This sports break is brought to you by Labatt Blue, the true Canadian lager.
And welcome back to the newsroom. The Montreal Canadiens in the NHL just getting started in Los Angeles tonight. Meanwhile, the Toronto Maple Leafs are finished in Dallas in an all-too-familiar story for Leaf fans. The hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper. Brent Gilchrist on the rush for Mike Modano, and Modano converts actually that pass, 3-0. Dallas forwards getting lonely in the slot in this night. Gilchrist on target, second of the night, 4-0 Stars, and Pat Burns keeps wondering when the bleeding will stop. 7 losses in a row now. Toronto losing it 5-1. Other scores in the NHL. Another Canadian team, the Ottawa Senators, lose again, 4-1 the final to the New Jersey Devils. Scores and highlights coming up after the Brier, and we will have more from Kamloops after this.
It's been 2 weeks.
What do you mean?
I mean every day for 2 weeks.
Every day?
Every day.
And it's good?
It's very good.
2 weeks, huh?
Oh, yeah.
What does your wife think?
She thinks it's great. You should try it.
Oh, I'm gonna try it.
Good.
They're talking about Kellogg's All Bran. It's very high in fiber. Make it part of your complete breakfast for 2 weeks and see how you feel about it.
How do you feel about it? Good.
You feel good.
I knew that I would.
Kellogg's All Bran. Try it for 2 weeks. Love it forever.
Owning a home today in this economic environment.
This home is the one we're going to stay in the rest of our lives.
I think you feel very fortunate if you do own one. When we think about renewing our mortgage, we're not that great at it. That's what we look to the bank for, because you want to make sure that you make the right decision.
To see how you can be home free faster, get expert help, the right plan, and guaranteed competitive rates. See your CIBC personal banker or call now.
We'd have a bit of a barn burner when the mortgage is paid off.
At CIBC, we're working to see what you see.
At first glance, this strut looks like most other struts, except for one important feature. Only UAP Napa struts meet the top quality standards of UAP Napa. UAP Napa, the right brand for the job.
The fact is, all cars are targets for car theft. New cars may have a higher value, but older cars can bring in big cash for their parts. So if you're not using the club, you're inviting a thief to steal your car. Stop. Don't fall prey to car theft. Get the club. Statistics show that the club is over 99% effective in reducing auto theft. Protect your vehicle from theft with the club. Now available in a variety of highly visible colors.
The 1996 Labatt Brier is brought to you by CIBC Trust, your will and estate planning and investment management professionals. By Unitel, quality long distance for less. And by the Ford Motor Company of Canada Limited.
The concourse level, standing room only. And as well, there's a 2,500 seat Brier patch. Stay with us right after this second draw for the TSN Turning Point. Brought to you by Interstate Batteries.
I'm leaving. You know, an apple sitting around too long, it goes bad. It's the same thing with a new battery. It loses power waiting to be bought. That's why at Interstate, we're constantly checking our batteries to make sure they're fresh, so that you don't end up with a bad apple.
Well, the next step for the winner of this Labatt Brier is the World Championships. And as you can see, 11 of the last 16 have gone to win the Worlds. Rick Folk twice, Al Packner twice, Ed Wernick 2 times. Ed Lukowicz in '86, that was at the Worlds in Toronto. Russ Howard, Pat Ryan, Kerry Burtnick. Well, Although Kerry Burton again. The only one that we miss in there, of course, is that Kevin Martin. He failed to win the Worlds in '91. We played 5. And it's Alberta leading 5-2. The difference is that 3 that Kevin Martin scored in the 4th. As we get ready to resume play for end number 6.
Well, it's a tough task to catch up in any game, but a very tough task against this Alberta team of Kevin Martin. They have, as I mentioned in my opening comments, they just have the complete package. They can throw it so big for you and so accurately big. And that's maybe one of the areas that you'll see different for those viewers that were with us last week at the Scott German Hearts, that the ability of a lot of these top men's teams to really throw big, solid weight. They can handle that peel weight so well. So it's so tough to catch some of these teams. It can be done, and it will be done this week a number of times, but it's tough.
And it was unfortunate last end. They had the opportunity, PEI, to perhaps get their 2. They had the one nicely buried, tried to set up the guard, and instead set up a double takeout. When you have a chance to get the 2 and then, of course, play the first stone of the next end into that free guard zone area, you do have a chance to put some pressure on the team and try to get close. But had that opportunity slide by, and now they're going to have to try and generate offense again this end, probably by putting up the guards.
Yeah, you especially have to play corner guards. The only way you'll get points against Kevin, you won't get them by freezing, because they just play the big weight so well. So the only way you're going to get points against Kevin is to get a corner guard up. And they had a chance last time, as you mentioned, Linda. That guard he could have maybe, as Vic mentioned, just exchanged stones for 2 hits and got his deuce. Because when Kevin ran off the front one, he was almost conceding, okay, you're going to score 2 on me.
Right up.
When they decided to guard again, they came too tight.
Yep.
So there's the corner, and it's that rock out there that cannot be removed from play. It can be touched and moved over, but it's in the free guard zone area, and it cannot be removed from play.
Well, let's take a look at the numbers through 5.
Well, we have seen that everybody scored with the hammer. Alberta, obviously, with the big end, the 3-ender, and have gone ahead. Look at those percentages on the Alberta side. Draws at 99%, hits at 84%, so their percentage is 90% compared to PEI at 75%. And they've made some big shots, the Alberta team, to get themselves out of trouble, but also to generate the offense.
Well, a couple of terrific draws by Kevin Martin helped set up his 3. But you know what, Ray, you think back if I'm not mistaken, if you were to think back before free guard zone and how those numbers would have been reversed, draws you might have said would be 0, and hits would have been in the 90s.
Yeah, well, we talked about it this afternoon, and this very same team, Kevin Martin, and the other team is here too, Jeff Stoughton in Hamilton in the Brier in 1991. We had a 2-1 game where Jeff Stoughton just gave up a deuce to the first end, and the game was over. Kevin and his team that year just peeled everything. Where Jeff Stoughton tried absolutely everything to get a front rock up.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Clean.
PEI lead Rod McDonald. After Don Walchuk, or pardon me, Don Bartlett put his second stone.
Try, Rod.
Into the 8-foot.
Well, you can see Kevin, he knows exactly the stone that'll cause the problem. Up he goes to peel it. He's got control of this game, and there's no way he's going to let up.
Good.
Throw.
Peter McDonald with another corner guard.
Again, some people might be a little confused, wondering why they don't make the play on the 2 yellow stones in the house that are sitting first and second shot. But again, if you try to go after those stones too early and you group your own stones, you're going to be giving Alberta a chance to get rid of them both. So they're being patient, hoping to get something going up front, and maybe they'll have a chance to tap those yellow ones or even get a hit in a roll.
Spot, John.
John Broda.
Well,
heavy-duty mechanic for Sterling Crane.
Throwing the heavy-duty weight.
Very nice.
Well, that sliding foot seemed to get away from him there.
Yeah, a bit of a slip on that delivery.
Have a look. Have a look.
Playing the corner to the other side now.
Yes. 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 That's good. Spot.
From Cliff Flundell of Calgary. Lucy test. How did the Brier get its name, and what does it mean?
Well, I think it comes from the McDonald Tobacco Company years and years ago. There was who were the sponsors of the Brier for years and years, and they had a tobacco called Brier Tobacco, and I'm guessing a little bit of this, but I believe that's where it came from.
No, I think that's absolutely true, and as a matter of fact, I heard it was the impression in the top of the tin that was heart-shaped that caused the Purple Heart.
Yep. Turnbull shows he knows the game. Wonderful use of the TSN letters.
Nice moose.
Yes.
Alberta really scrambling to get back after giving up those 3 and 4.
Lock.
PEI really trying to generate some offense here, Ray.
Yeah, this is can be a discouraging part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, Alberta is so strong, and you can see Peter's really trying everything. He's moving the guards around. He's tried some quiet shots, but Alberta keeps running them off.
Normal weight. Knock it through the hole.
Now the third shot rock.
Nose is fine.
Live update for you, British Columbia against Quebec as they play 6 in a 3-3 tie. Final stone for the BC skip. This is Barry McPhee from Kamloops. And we'll have to wait till everybody clears to have a look. It was a draw for 1. Did he come up short or did he get there? No, he got there. Top of the 8'4" of the 1, the signal. So, boy, deep breath. And he's wondering, yeah, you can smile, Barry. You picked up your single, so it's 4-3 Quebec. On Westphal to have Hammer playing 7.
Well, in our game, he punched the third shot rock out and killed the back one, got the roll in front of his own, Kevin Martin did.
Looks like Don Walchuk's rocks have a homing sense. They get that perfect roll. Last end he did the same thing, got the perfect roll in front of his other stone. This end as well.
Wow.
Just trying to move these around a little bit.
Nice shot.
That's a pretty nice shot. That is a very good shot, actually, because now as Kevin plays the hit on it and rolls the shooter out, they can go around the corner guard, Linda.
Pick it out, he's got a pretty easy bump.
Well, if you pick it clean, he's got to put it up. But
Yeah,
guards,
well, probably not going to pick it clean, though. We'll probably knock our own out.
I don't mind the guard. Yeah, you want to gamble?
Yeah.
Not really gamble, but...
Yeah.
To lose them both...
What do you think?
You'll lose the shooter, which then allows PEI to go behind this rock here.
Yeah.
A lot of arrows.
Yeah, it's certainly there. I just hate to guard one of his rocks ever, you know?
Yeah, I agree, Kevin.
All he has to do is make a bump on ours, and all of a sudden, he's buried, you know? Hey, let's blast it out. He's got to make a good one. Okay.
Probably going to take everything.
He's going to blast it out. He looked at this one here for a moment, hitting that one, coming across.
Yeah. Because that split's there, and if if things don't work out right, he could get 3 with that split being there.
I think also what he was saying is if he put up a guard, the PEI team could raise that rock in front of the rings onto shot rock, or they might be able to make a triple tap or something. So he's definitely firing at this one.
Kevin Martin in his first. Absolutely from the hip.
Okay. And sideways.
Man. The way he throws it, it gets there yesterday. Oh, that was a little tight on you, eh?
That's very good. I like that.
Yeah, that came out funny.
That's fast.
Yeah,
that is fast.
That's very fast.
Yeah, that is fast. Got some options here.
I think we'll go around, Roddy.
Go around it. Listen to him talk. The other option, of course, is to come down.
We get the split. We'll play it tight.
There's the split he's talking about. Pushing that one on, and the shooter rolling
We don't want to just come right in top and take our deuce away. So I'd rather just show him the corner, and he'll probably go after. But yeah, play it real tight now, because the split's fine.
It is fine.
Can you show your hand here too early if you play the split now, as he suggests, or do you take the split if you get it?
Well, the reason you might go around rather than play the split now is you're hoping actually that the opponent makes a big error, and you might have a chance to split the other one in to get 3. I really doubt that Kevin Martin's going to make those kind of errors, though, so he's probably going to come out blasting whichever way you do it.
Well, the other thing he said, too, you heard him say that if we get around and just show him a corner, he'll try and pick it out, and we have a chance to play our split for 2.
Yep.
He'll be able to save the shooter.
Lots.
The first for Peter McDonald.
If you get it buried perfectly, you know that Kevin's going to try in the run through.
Go now. Well. Well.
Close.
Take it deep. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hurry. Right back.
That didn't finish as well as they thought it might, or I thought it might. Kevin can see a corner of it, and he's going to do just as we suggested. He's going to try and pick it out of there. See about half of it. You can see half of it. The key for PI is hoping that Alberta loses the shooter.
Yep. Hard.
Real hard.
Clean, clean.
Clean. Well swept, you guys. And a compliment to
Really well swept.
The brushers.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't seem to be of any great concern, but what was he saying to them?
In my case, it would be that they kept up. But he just meant they got on it when he called them early and held the line and made the shot perfectly.
Now, does he play the split here?
Oh, definitely. Shot for 2.
I was thinking even if we just played
quiet.
Yeah, because
let's
you
get
don't
the
want
sucker out.
Yeah. Be done with it. Don't give him this chance. But
come down on this one here, hoping to touch this stone onto the rings in this area and roll the shooter over here.
What makes this split a little bit easier, of course, is the distance the stone is in front of the house. It's very, very close to the rings.
Same weight now.
I've seen numerous ways of holding a brush. As maybe the first time I've seen it actually used like it was a crutch. He takes the end of the brush and he actually buries it under his arm. Peter McDonald looking for the split for 2.
oh,
Come on. Whoa, whoa. Right off. Right off.
right off it.
Close. Right off.
Close.
Grant Summers calling the line.
Whoa.
Don't touch.
Oh, now all the way back and through.
That's a heartbreaker.
Stuff.
It was so close.
Just a rub, not enough for PEI. They'll get 1 here in the 6th.
Psoriasis, seborrheic dermatitis, dandruff.
Symptom, persistent, itchy, flaky scalp. Solution, Neutrogena T-Gel. It works. Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo.
You don't choose to have an accident, but you can choose your repair center. More than 1 million Canadians have relied on AutoPro, the largest network of automotive professionals. AutoPro Collision, a courteous reception, professional repairs, qualified technicians, specialized equipment, and in addition to AutoPro's national warranty, take advantage of our deductible protection plan. AutoPro Collision, people you can trust.
We make maple leaf wieners for Courtney, who will only eat Mr. Broccoli if he hasn't touched Mr. Gravy. We make maple leaf wieners for Tim, who says peas explode in his mouth. And for Caitlin, whose scrambled eggs must be shaped like little boats. Maple leaf wieners have a taste made especially for kids. For Kenny, who won't eat anything with sauce, and Jason, who won't eat anything without sauce, there will always be maple leaf.
Psoriasis, seborrheic dermatitis, dandruff. Symptom, persistent, itchy, flaky scalp. Solution, Neutrogena T-Gel. It works. Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo.
Maybe you think only those jet set types need a Nokia cellular phone.
Hi, it's me. Flight's delayed.
Well, now Nokia's making cellular phones so easy.
Late. Can I skip my bath?
They're practically child's play.
Attention, Flight 11 is delayed.
Can I call you back?
With Nokia's big, easy-to-read screens, last number redial, and sleek designs.
No, don't hold dinner. I'm eating my body weight in hot dogs. No, wait up. You gotta tuck me in.
So get set to join the jet set. Nokia, Europe's leading cellular phone, also made in America, connecting people.
Welcome back as you watch the final stone in the 7th end, Saskatchewan and New Brunswick. Rod Montgomery from Moose Jaw in a 2-2 tie with Mike Kennedy from the Beaver Club in Moncton. Both teams making their first appearances at this Labatt Brier. And did he flip too far, or did he get his one there? Linda, did you?
I think he rolled too far.
Rolled too far, so it's a steal of one, it appears, then for the team from New Brunswick. As we watch it go up on the board while we watch Rod McDonald and his first stone. It is indeed a steal of one for New Brunswick and a 3-2 lead. 5-3, Alberta leading PEI, and Alberta, Kevin Martin has hammer back.
Well, it is a bit heartbreaking for PEI. That's 2 wins in a row where it looked like they might get those important 2 points back and get this game really close, put the pressure back on Alberta. But one end, there was a great hit by Don Walchuk, and then last end, that split just didn't work for Peter McDonald.
Might be sitting at home, and we're been wondering ourselves, because we mentioned to you at the reading the ice segment that going to the wings, it was going about 3.5 to 4 feet. It certainly is not doing that. I think maybe it's a little warmer in here than they expected, and the ice people may have had to turn up the temperature a little bit, or turn it down a little bit to cool it off, which makes it a little bit straighter. Because there's no question it's not going big time to the wings like we thought. It is finishing around the center guards, but not as much as we thought to the wings. So. And that was a heartbreaker for Peter McDonald, because he threw it so well with the perfect weight, and it just didn't curl for him.
Alberta, of course, keeping the pressure on, coming right around the guard.
Very nice, Don.
Well, I think I guess at this one, I think that Jeffrey Henderson, who played second for Nova Scotia in '92, out Northern Ontario.
I have no idea.
Boy, oh boy. Congratulations. Gotta make these tougher. That's 2 brain teasers and 2 correct answers.
I don't want them any tougher.
Where's he at?
I was so hopeful after the first one.
Come on, come on, hurry it. Hurry it. Right by, come on. Hurry.
Well, actually, I really got lucky with that one, because this morning I was doing some work in the Labatt biog book that they give us, and just to get ready for our opening, and I happened to come across the fact that Jeff had played. I didn't remember it. I just came across it in the books. So when the brain teaser came up, I was just all puffed up.
Nothing more than that.
I got this one. The Alberta lead, Don Bartlett. This is the 4th time, of course, that Kevin Martin plays a PEI team in round-robin competition at Labatt Brier, and he's been perfect so far. Winning all 3 in 91, 92, and again 95.
Stay close.
Here in 96 is leading 5-3 as we play the 7th.
what?
Very nice controlled weight, comes up, makes contact, and does stay in the rings for Alberta.
Wait, Don.
We're talking a little bit about the ice and how it's not curling as much, and one reason that the ice makers might be having a bit of trouble. The earlier draw today, there are fans in the four corners of the buildings that were on in the afternoon draw, and they were blowing heat and actually just blowing air onto the ice. It was actually melting sheet A. Shorty Jenkins, the head ice maker here, has gotten permission to turn the fans off. They are not on this evening, but again, that means they're grappling with those ice conditions. And so the skips that saw the afternoon draw might also be wondering about the amount of curl this evening. And
yeah, they are, yeah. The telltale ribbon is still, so the fans are indeed on.
They do such wonderful work here. Shorty Jenkins was out with his little gun testing the heat on the ice and the stones and decided that that had to happen. So they're working as hard as they can to keep the ice conditions great for the players.
Sean Broda.
No. Good shot.
Anybody that plays against Kevin Martin knows that you just can't let him get a jump on you. You certainly try not to, and that three came up, so quickly, and really makes your task difficult. Peter McDonald knows the game well, and he's made every attempt. He maybe he had his chance at his first deuce, maybe as opposed to guarding it with only two stones to exchange. He maybe should have played the hit, Victor suggested, but hindsight's great.
But you have to give Kevin Martin full credit because he hasn't gotten his points by just waiting for his chances. He's really forced the issue, and they've made some great shots.
That's all right.
As we watch Nova Scotia, Ontario, Brian Rafuse with the final stone for Nova Scotia as they play in 7. So it'll be a chance for Ontario to play, well, certainly a quiet hit for 2. I don't know, is there more there? Could he?
I think he's mostly looking at how he has to hit the red stone. It looks like he might have to hit it just perfectly to get second shot. They're just lining that up.
Which would tie the game going to 8.
Well, you're right, Lenny. He can't afford to come across and hit it on the center line side, otherwise he'll jam it back onto the other red one. So he's got to hit it absolutely perfect.
And in the top right, Sean Broda for Alberta playing the come around. PEI stone came short. There's now 2 center line guards.
Lots of weight.
Yeah.
Take it back?
Yeah. Way back. Way back.
This is the time when you want to be in front of the tee line. As a matter of fact, top 12, top 8, so that you don't allow the opponent in around.
Bob Ingram, the Ontario champion from Bridgetown Curling Club. Outside of Chatham, Ontario, his final stone looking to pick up 2 here in 7. Sits. Did he roll too far? He rolled off it, rolled the wrong way. Will it just be 1? It sure looks that way. 1 yellow is the word from third Jim Smith. So missed opportunity for Ontario. They'll trail 4-3, and the team from Bridgewater, Nova Scotia, has Lost Rock playing 8.
Room. Where's he at?
Looking to try and get it to move at the end here. He's got good weight. It should come across. It should finish for him. He missed the guard by a good foot. You had to miss the guard by 2 to 4 inches to be fully buried. The interesting thing about Kevin, he can smell the kill here, and he's one guy that can do it to you. He can. We often talk about a lot of the great teams, and that's one of the things that we say maybe we're a little bit critical about. For example, with Connie Laliberty, who is maybe one of the best female throwers of a curling rock in the world and has been for years, but maybe just doesn't have that. Just doesn't pounce on enough of her opposition. Keeps teams in the game a little too long sometimes. And Kevin Martin, he knows he can smell this, and he can feel that this end he can put this game right out of sight, and he'll attempt to do so.
Alberta with Last Rock, and they have one absolutely covered, sitting top 8, line 2, in fact. One back 12 at around 8 o'clock.
Well, that's why Alberta didn't mind spilling out those rocks behind the tee line. It was really providing PEI an opportunity to come down to something. Now Grant Summers has to make the cold draw, come around to the 4-foot.
When do you maybe look at your PEI looking at the raise on your stones back with skip stones?
Well, that's a possible call. You could call that, play it quietly back at this point if you so desire. He thinks that the center line has shown us that it will really finish. They're just not getting close enough to that guard.
Hey! Come on.
You can get this thing totally buried. Now if you remember the last shot, he missed the guard by about a foot. This time he missed it only by about 2 or 3 inches. And he's got it almost protected. A little bit more weight.
What kind of weight to pick?
What do you like? Throw what? Hacks? Okay. Hack weight.
You heard Don Walchuk. His very first comment was, "We want to play the pick, and that means take the edge of the stone, and I'll fire it down there, and we'll pick it out and lose the shooter." And then you heard Kevin say, "No, let's play hack weight.
Yeah.
Come down, hit this one here, removing it, and roll over into this area here. Once again, the kill."
Wow. Yep.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh. Yep.
Look at
right up.
Bartlett lean on it. Oh, they get the little rub, and they still make the shot. Enough to push it out the back. A great position by Martin. Look at that.
You're right. The sweepers were really trying to lean on it to get the pressure on the brushes and get that rock by the guard. That's where the movement is, that 4-foot band down the center.
Pick the guard, yeah.
Something I've noticed about, this is the first time I've had a chance to watch this team with Don Walchuk playing third. They really see, Kevin seems to be having a lot of fun out there. He seems a lot looser than I've seen him. You know, we've watched him a lot. Our viewers across the country have seen him in, I believe it's been 4 of those televised games that he didn't win.
Well, the good news is he's only got 2 left, right?
Yeah. Can't steal more than 2.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the negative side of it. But that's, he just seems to be nice and loose, and that's a great sign because he's such a great player.
First stone for Peter McDonald. So he's going to try and come around himself now, is he?
Still trying. It looks like the broom's in about the same place. He's hoping to get a lot more movement earlier than Grant Summers did.
Well.
Oh, wait only.
Well.
Close.
Come on, hurry. Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Well, the line's perfect now. It's a question of weight.
Right off it, John.
And this one just keeps on going. It'll hang on to the back 12. Updating the game between British Columbia and Quebec as they play the 7th end. Final stone for the team from Buckingham, Quebec, Don Westphal. Trailing 4-3. Makes the hit for the deuce. And now Quebec is up 5-4 on British Columbia. Both teams winners in draw 1.
I don't think it's going to bury, so we don't really want to take it 4-foot. I don't think. It can be out in the open. It doesn't really matter.
You heard Kevin say, I don't think it's really going to bury, so they're going to play the rock out into this area here.
Got room.
Good. Weight's good.
I think you're saying, too, it can be top 8, top 12 even. He just can't bring it in deep. You've got to allow Peter McDonald to follow it down.
Yeah, actually, his first inclination was to go to the open side even, Linda, but he doesn't want this deep.
Wow. Right off.
They took a lot of ice.
Right off.
Whoa.
Right off. Wow, right off. Good.
It's not really a great shot because it allows Peter McDonald to sit right on the face of it.
I was trying to hear that. I hit and rolled out on it. Did I just push it back?
Way too much ice.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
Stupid. Yeah, you threw good. Threw good. Way too much ice.
Too much ice for to bury it. It's really interesting because his first inclination was to go to the open side. That's what when I went to Telstra, I was surprised he wasn't playing to the open side. Because his comment was that it's hard to bury there, so.
Well, the last two skips rocks have really moved very easily down that 4-foot band. They've been sliding and sliding. Peter McDonald will have to adjust. Doesn't want to tap that Yellowstone, just wants to come to the face of it. He's trying to cut down this end for Alberta.
Final stone for Peter McDonald, and right now facing 3.
We've said that a few times in this game, I think. A lot of pressure on him.
Wait only.
Last time we said it, he was drawing against 3, and he put it on the lid. This time he doesn't have the hammer.
A lot of room. Whoa, what?
Can't afford to touch
Right
it.
off.
Wants to sit right in front of it.
Right off. Don't touch. Don't touch.
Now.
Moved it too much.
You punch it through the hole.
Yeah, drop
and
produce. I don't
save
want
the shooter and score 4.
No, you wouldn't save the shooter.
He's not going to even try.
No,
he's just going to drop for 2.
What do you think of that?
Well, he could pick it out. You're right. Score 3. He's going to try and catch the forfeit for 2.
Nope.
He's got complete control of games. He's not going to take any chances.
Doesn't really need to take the risk.
No.
Peter made a pretty good draw, so Kevin will have to be 4-foot with this.
I'm heavy, eh? Well, not bad, actually. Watch it close.
Line's good. Line's good. T-line. Yep.
Lots of room.
John Bartlett,
Okay, just
Sean
T-line,
Broda.
T-line.
Pull
Good shot,
4
boy.
is what they need.
That's a terrific shot.
Attaboy, skipper. And Peter McDonald congratulates Kevin Martin for a great draw to pick up 2 more. Alberta's in control here in their first game of the Labatt Brier.
We make maple leaf wieners for Courtney, who will only eat Mr. Broccoli if he hasn't touched Mr. Gravy. We make maple leaf wieners for Tim, who says peas explode in his mouth. And for Caitlin, whose scrambled eggs must be shaped like little boats. Maple leaf wieners have a taste made especially for kids. For Kenny, who won't eat anything with sauce, and Jason, who won't eat anything without sauce, there will always be maple leaf.
Natural ability can only take you so far. Equipment counts for a lot. I'm always checking out new ideas. You have to stay competitive. That's what I like about Pert Plus. Cleans and conditions in one step. No messing with 2 bottles. I get great results. No hassle, no fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. The winners just find a better way to get there.
Pert Plus, great hair, no fuss. A pretty important invention. Just try living without it. But sometimes it just doesn't leave you feeling clean enough. Maestro, let's demonstrate. See what I mean? These are new Cottonelle Moist Wipes. You use them after you use this. And they leave you feeling cleaner.
All clean. They have soothing aloe and they're flushable.
So if you want your family to feel fresher, cleaner, just better, this is one invention you won't want to live without.
New Cottonelle Moist Wipes. Advanced personal hygiene from Cottonelle.
When 2-time world champion Ed Wernick started using the hammer, people laughed.
Hey, yeah, it looks like a toy.
Last year, Ed's team was the leading money winner on the Pro Tour. Now who's laughing? When Ed Wernick first used the hammer, people laughed. World champion Russ Howard is the winningest skip in Brier history and Ed's #1 rival. Russ has chosen the hammer. Now who's laughing? For more information about the hammer with quick change faceplates, call 1-800-567-7757.
Welcome back to the Riverside Coliseum here in Kamloops, British Columbia. TSN's continuing coverage of the second draw of the Labatt Brier as we move to the game between New Brunswick and Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan trailing 3-2, playing 8. Final stone coming up for Rod Montgomery, the skip of the Saskatchewan Championship team from the Hillcrest Sports Center in Moose Jaw. Again, one of these skips with no prior experience, one of the newcomers here. And he's lying one, Linda, but hitting this first one on the nose won't get it. He's looking for the double,
It
isn't
looks like he has to hit a little on the outside to get the double on the other Yellowstone back 4. No way to draw in there, it seems, for that second point.
Now, did he jam it and give up the steal? Mike Kennedy has a look. No, it is 1 red, so it's a tie game as Saskatchewan comes back with the single to tie it 3-all. Mike Kennedy from the Beaver Curling Club in Moncton will have last rock playing 9. Just a reminder, a brand new IndyCar season begins Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Greg Moore, Maple Ridge, BC. He'll be driving the Players' car, formerly driven by Jacques Villeneuve, of course, who has moved to Formula One. Paul Tracy, fastest in qualifying on Friday. Scott Goodyear, he's got a full-time ride, and we'll have it for you 1 p.m. Eastern Time. As we go to the game between Quebec and BC, 5-4, Quebec leading as they play 8.
We'll be back with the third draw. I've never seen anybody get so excited when those IndyCar promos come on. You're just like a little kid with a lollipop.
And next Saturday, Lucy, we will have the first of the Formula One season from Australia and the debut of Jacques Villeneuve with Williams-Renault.
That kind of brings up an interesting question. Do they consider the drivers of those cars athletes, Vic? I mean, they're always criticizing curlers, for example.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
very much so. The G-forces are sometimes 3 and 4 times body weight in some of those Formula One cars, very much so.
A lot of the top drivers drive for a long time. That's a nice thing about that particular sport as well. As this sport, you see competitive critters in the Brier out here in 51 in the late 40s and so on and so forth. And a lot of the major drivers are, on an age, Voigt and people that are still driving. And
Barry McPhee at 48 is the oldest skip, and BC the oldest team. And they're playing very well. They've got a battle here, down 1 point, but with last rock here in the 8th end, and they have that one nicely covered top of the button. We're on Skip's first rocks for Quebec.
Yep. Quebec coming off a 6-5 win over Jeff Stoughton of Manitoba in the first draw, while British Columbia was a 5-2 winner, running Ontario out of rocks in the 10th. Don Westphal is the skip of this Quebec team from Buckingham. Been at previous Briers. In fact, this is his 3rd, but he always played under skip Pierre Charette, but now skipping the team, and again, one of those first-timers, Linda.
He's just trying to draw to the face of the BC stone. This is another situation where the rock was so well covered, he didn't think he could get at it.
just didn't get on it quick enough. It was staying out a little bit, so they couldn't brush it.
Of course, a decision for BC because the Yellowstone is not in for shot rock. It's only top 12, but it's in a dangerous spot. It can be promoted up. They have to decide whether to try and protect or draw in for a second one.
British Columbia with hammer, trailing 5-4 here in 8. And lots of McPhee supporters, you might imagine, here in Kamloops. Remember, girls out of the Kamloops Curling Club.
Yeah. Look at darn.
As he talks with his lead, Bert Hinch. Quickly to Nova Scotia, Ontario, as they play the 8th. 4-3 Nova Scotia leading. Final stone for the Nova Scotia skip, Brian Rayfuse from the Bridgewater Curling Club.
He was trying a long raise to get at shot rock, and the angle was wrong and just couldn't make it.
It's a steal of 1 for Ontario. They're even going to 9. Nova Scotia to maintain control. Here we go. First for Barry McPhee.
I talked about the decision they made. BC was to protect that shot stone and the yellow stone that could be raised up on it.
Yeah, I think you're right, Linda. Well, I know you're right. If they had tried to go around it in any fashion, of course, they would have grouped their stones together and made the raise actually easier, or the raise takeout even possible. If you go to the open side, then Quebec could have made the decision just to tap it back. So Barry chose to protect it. You do hate playing guards when you have last rock, but this is one of those cases where you have to, sense and size up the situation. Don Westphal will try to get around to the top of the 4-foot and make it difficult for Barry McPhee from Kamloops to get his deuce.
Linda Ray, it looks though the way these stones are lined up, would not the other turn, I guess that would be his in turn, would that not in turn be better to get to the face of that stone at the top corners?
Well, we really haven't watched. It looks like he might have more room on that side, Vic, but we really haven't watched. The long guard, though, is on the center line, so you've got some room to...
You certainly can get closer to the button with this turn because the red stone shot rock in the 4-foot is on the other side of the button to the side that he's playing.
Final stone then for Quebec, here in 8.
Yep! Hooray! Hooray! Whoa! Whoa!
It's a new roll for Pierre Charette, banging that brush.
Well, they didn't call out the weight, and this one's going to slide a little too far and leave BC actually the easier opportunity to get in.
And they missed the front rock by quite a bit, so that was just, as you mentioned, a communication problem. They traded control in this game, and this is, of course, a nice time to get the control, which is the 8th end, so a big shot for Barry McPhee. And there are 4,000 people here hoping he makes it.
It's been a long time between trips to Labatt Brier. 86, Kitchener, and now 96 here in his hometown of Kamloops.
They're calling this for line, trying to get it by.
Ken Brown, Bert Hinch, the front end of this BC team, and everyone on their feet. And everyone now telling you he made it. Barry McPhee in front of the hometown folks picks up 2 and 8 and takes the 1-point lead.
Thanks, Don.
Prince Edward Island, Alberta, that's our featured game here in this second draw as we play 8. 7-3 Alberta leading. Prince Edward Island with last rock. This will be the first stone of the 8th for skip Peter McDonald.
Well, Kevin got a jam, and so it's a little bit of a chance here for PEI to get tuck another stone in behind the 2 rocks out in front. I believe that's what he's playing, to try and maybe get 3. This is an outturn, that's what he's playing, and it is.
Easy. Lots of room.
Room.
Lot of room.
Room. Lots of room.
Outturn draw, trying to get around
Lots of
behind
room.
his own red stone.
Lots of room. Come on now.
Well, a lot of room. Yeah.
See? Come on.
They want to bring it
Whoa,
back
come
to try and
on.
get more movement.
Right back. Hurry it. Hurry. Right back. Come on.
Just wouldn't finish for them.
Just
That's
wait
what we
for it.
mentioned earlier. They're just not going to the wings like we expected. They start to make a move, and then they get to the 8-foot, they seem to stop, and that wasn't the information we got from the players earlier in practices, and also when I watched earlier today and the practice yesterday, they were really going to the wings, but not so tonight.
Yep. Hard.
Kevin Martin in his second.
Oh. Whoa.
Sits there, so it'll be a hit for 2 for PEI.
Just board. Just board.
Who do you think can throw the rock harder, Wayne McDonald or Kevin Martin? It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. But seriously,
they both do it
they
so
do,
well.
Yeah, but I'd say Kevin.
Well, it doesn't really matter. I was just kind of.
But they do. They absolutely hammer it. But by the same token, ask them to play the soft touch shots, and they're there too. Huh? They're equally able to do it.
The key is, of course, they throw it so accurately.
Yeah, their mechanics don't break down, do they?
Not at all.
Stop in time. It will. For two for Prince Edward Island and Peter McDonald in 8. So Alberta will have the hammer back and leading.
Men, is gray hair sneaking up on you, right under your nose?
It is sneaking up on me. Here, too.
You need Just for Men gel. Brush in, and in 5 minutes, rinse.
It's the sure thing for a natural look.
Just for Men gel.
We make maple leaf wieners for Courtney, who will only eat Mr. Broccoli if he hasn't touched Mr. Gravy. We make maple leaf wieners for Tim, who says peas explode in his mouth. And for Caitlin, whose scrambled eggs must be shaped like little boats. Maple leaf wieners have a taste made especially for kids. For Kenny, who won't eat anything with sauce, and Jason, who won't eat anything without sauce, there will always be maple leaf.
Maybe you think only those jet set types need a Nokia cellular phone.
Hi, it's me. Flight's delayed.
Well, now Nokia's making cellular phones so easy.
Late. Can I skip my bath?
They're practically child's play.
Attention, Flight 11 is delayed.
Can I call you back?
With Nokia's big, easy-to-read screens, last number redial, and sleek designs.
No, don't hold dinner. I'm eating my body weight in hot dogs. No, wait up. You gotta tuck me in.
So get set to join the jet set. Nokia, Europe's leading cellular phone, also made in America, connecting people.
I'll have the chili.
Chili? You should know better.
And I'll have the fries.
Fries? You should know better.
And now I'll have Tums Ultra.
New Tums Ultra is our highest strength ever. It goes to work in seconds, neutralizing stomach acid to relieve heartburn and indigestion fast. And unlike many antacids, Tums Ultra has calcium.
Something your body uses anyway. You'll like that.
I'll have the chili. I know. I should know.
At first glance, this battery looks like most other batteries, except for one important feature. Only a UAP Napa battery meets the top quality standards of UAP Napa. UAP Napa, the right brand for the job.
Yeah, our season of champions continues here in Kamloops at the Riverside Coliseum and the Labatt Brier. From the internet and J.C. Laliberty of Regina. Which province has never won a Brier? Or is that provinces? Well, it would be provinces. New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, the Yukon Northwest Territories have never won. Saskatchewan fans on hand to watch the first appearance of their team from Moose Jaw. Saskatchewan go. Oh, Saskatchewan go. Oh. And we are gone to this game, Saskatchewan against New Brunswick. From the Hillcrest Sports Center in Moose Jaw against New Brunswick from the Beaver Curling Club in Moncton as they play 9 in what has been a wide open game, 3-3. 2 blanks and singles in the others.
Last couple ends of this game, they've had a lot more rocks in play and some terrific shots. Rod Montgomery, of course, we saw at the WCT Championship. Jasper plays the circuit in the West.
Would you think that the redstone back 4, just maybe fighting the 4 is shot rock? It would appear that way. They're protecting.
New Brunswick with the hammer here in 9. What's Mike saying? Open it up?
Yeah, let's get them all up there if we can.
There's Grant Odeshaw, the New Brunswick 3rd.
Change of mind.
We're talking about a lot of options coming in, raising the yellow one onto the other yellow with quiet weight. Mike had talked about trying to peel off those rocks, but they've changed their mind.
Playing the quiet raise, Linda.
Backline weight.
Yellow onto yellow with backline weight.
Hooray! Come on!
Front end of Rick Perron, the Ford Hotshot winner, and Mark Lecoq. Nearing the end now of this, the second draw. Get yourselves caught up. That's how we sit in the game we're following right now. We showed you PEI scored 2 to pull within 2. And British Columbia got 2 to move ahead of Quebec. It's the first year together for this Saskatchewan team of Rod Montgomery. They beat George Rainier 6-5 in the provincial final. And there you see the money won on the World Curling Tour by Montgomery.
Yeah, I just want to give him a high double.
Now, what do you think of that? He's in the hack. His front end says, it's a little bit too much. Right time to do it, or do you say that, or do you not say anything at all?
Well, it really depends on the team. I preferred once I was in the hack not to hear any more information. He'd made his decision, knew where the stone was going to go, and I would prefer, if it was me, not to have that. But every team's really different, and it might not disturb him. What he's saying is he doesn't want to set up a double, so he's really worried about changing the shot he had in his mind.
In those kind of situations, I never spoken unless I was spoken to. Did I say spoken? I never spoken. That was nice.
But I understood what you meant,
Yeah,
which means I've been with you far too long.
Yeah, you're the only one in this country that did. I never said a word until I was spoken to.
And for whatever reason, that stone did come too deep, and it allows, of course, the rock to be followed in by New Brunswick.
I'd lots to say before my skip got to the hack, mind you. A little too much.
Yeah, there
sometimes.
are times when teammates would lie in front of the hack, so I wouldn't throw shots. But that's all right. But once I'm in the hack, you can't do it.
Yeah, familiar face, Mike Kennedy. He was 3 and 8 in 92, 5 and 6 in 93. New Brunswick, one of those provinces, as you saw, that has never won a Canadian Men's Curling Championship. Although they got to the final.
Jim Sullivan
90
against Edward.
You bet. And he'll come up short.
We're in Sudbury? We were in Sudbury that year?
I think it was, yes.
Well, the Saskatchewan stone definitely is shot stone at the back 4, and that one does come up quite light.
Was with an S, wasn't Sudbury. I think it was Sault Ste. Marie.
Okay. I was in the right province.
Yes. Notice the blank in 9, so Nova Scotia, Ontario will go to 10 tied in Nova Scotia. Ryan Rafuse does have Last Rock coming home. Getting ready for the finals. Now, you know, you think of the great tradition of curlers in Saskatchewan. They've won 7 national titles. The last title won by Saskatchewan.
Gee, is it way back to Rick Pope?
Yeah, you're right.
1980?
Surprises.
Yeah.
Yes, wouldn't it? Surprise you? But of course, last year, Brad Height
got close.
lost the final.
Someone's going to overcurl a little bit.
Pretty good guard. See a corner of it only. There's just nothing that's lined up for you either, is there?
Well, unfortunately, that earlier raise attempt made that Yellowstone near center line in a bad position now. It protects.
Mike Kennedy talking with his lead, Rick Perron, the Ford Hotshot winner.
Think he'll get a rebate on his airline ticket if he's driving home?
Well, he said he's going to have somebody drive him home.
It's sort of set up to, you know, to go that way. I don't think I can make more than the red on yellow. The red on yellow is not bad. I don't think I can do any more damage to get up. Thinking board. Yeah. Get at least that, eh? You're moving 4 rocks.
Well, it's definitely a raise attempt they're looking at.
I might need a little more than board.
Just which stone to raise is the question.
This is the one they're looking at. Red onto yellow, onto yellow, onto red.
Wow.
Okay.
Looked at all sorts of combinations, even coming through the port and trying to raise the Yellowstone just short of the rings, but this one does look like the easiest, if you can call it that, when you have to make so many combinations to make the shot.
Triple raise takeout for 3. Mike Kennedy in his final stone. Brad Odeshar calling the angles, bumped. Oh, and he hit it square, and he'll drive it by. It's a steal of 1 for Saskatchewan. And they'll lead it 4-3. After 9. Rod Montgomery, New Brunswick, though, will have hammer coming home. Late now in the second draw on a Saturday night here in Kamloops. As we go back to Sheet C, right next door on the right. And our featured game to start this second draw. Alberta with a 7-5 lead over Prince Edward Island. And this will be the first of the skip stones for PEI and Peter McDonald. Alberta with hammer. And Alberta line 1.
Well, there's a chance to hide a stone here. There's a rock just outside of the rings, just off the center line, covering the 4-foot. So if Peter can get it in behind,
lots of room.
Get a rock buried. There's the situation.
Wait,
it comes into blue on your screen.
Lot of room. Come on now. Come on. Hurry. Right back. Right back.
Missed the guard by quite a bit, by about 5 or 6 inches. So if he'd been a little tighter to the guard, he could have certainly buried it fully.
Well, it has seemed that the story
It's
in
that
this
same
game
boardy
has been
kind of
that
stuff.
the PEI stones just weren't getting enough curl. You think of all the times that they haven't gotten by the guards by the right amount, and also the split attempt they tried that didn't curl enough. Seems like Peter's just having trouble finding the place to put the broom. And this man doesn't make it any easier because they've played so well. If you don't make it absolutely perfectly, they're after you with those nice, quiet takeouts.
Clean up. All right. Clean. Yep. Whoa. Just a bit.
Great touch.
Some kind of hit and roll.
There.
Yeah.
Got the whole forefoot, but
Goodness gracious. I don't care who you are, it's tough to beat someone who throws those kind of numbers at you.
Yeah. Board.
As you said, Ray, Delinda, it's a well-rounded game. It's not one-dimensional at all.
Yeah, he's got a whole package. The whole package.
Very nice. Very nice. You bet. Yeah, it's good. Well, this should be a pretty good spot for him to roll on, actually. SJ, he ain't that bad.
Hey?
Shorty.
Yeah.
No, it's excellent. Yeah. Lots of swing, man. That thing curled quite early, mine, that time. Eh? Yeah. At Labatt's, it started to go. Yeah.
Peter McDonald.
Yeah, Kevin putting away some information about how the ice is moving, and I'm sure they'll be using that as the week progresses.
Come on. All the way.
Yes. Hurry. Wow. Okay.
Look at that one go. Hit for two. As Kevin Martin looks to remain undefeated against Prince Edward Island teams in round-robin play of Brier competition.
Clean.
And there it is. And there are the handshakes as Alberta will open with a 9-5 win. All the kids, will be happy. Shauna's happy. Her husband's a 9-5 winner. The opening draw for him.
Hey, guys.
Here in Kamloops.
We make maple leaf wieners for Courtney, who will only eat Mr. Broccoli if he hasn't touched Mr. Gravy. We make maple leaf wieners for Tim, who says peas explode in his mouth. And for Caitlin, whose scrambled eggs must be shaped like little boats. Maple leaf wieners have a taste made especially for kids. For Kenny, who won't eat anything with sauce, and Jason, who won't eat anything without sauce, there will always be maple leaf.
Natural ability can only take you so far. Equipment counts for a lot. I'm always checking out new ideas. You have to stay competitive. That's what I like about Pert Plus. Cleans and conditions in one step. No messing with 2 bottles. I get great results. No hassle, no fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. The winners just find a better way to get there.
Pert Plus, great hair, no fuss.
Now, an oil made just for your hard-working engine. 4x4 from Quaker State. Off-roading, extreme temperatures, towing and hauling. They all make your light truck or 4x4 work extra hard and could shorten its life. Why settle for a conventional car oil? Get 4x4 from Quaker State.
Now, an independent test proved 4x4 superior to leading conventional car oils in protecting against deposits that can shorten engine life.
When my Joey had diaper rash, I felt like crying too. I wish I'd known about this. Baby Fresh Diaper Rash Prevention. The only brand that helps prevent diaper rash. No other brand lays down an invisible protective barrier that helps block irritating wetness. Plus it's big, thick, and incredibly gentle. And to us, nothing could feel better than that. Baby Fresh Diaper Rash Prevention. Cleans gently, protects gently.
Well, a week tomorrow, Sunday, we'll find out which of the teams, which of the provinces will hold the Labatt Brier Tankard High here in Kamloops. As we go to the game between Saskatchewan and New Brunswick, playing 10, 4-3 Saskatchewan leading after the steal of one. New Brunswick has hammer coming home.
Brunswick needs two to win this.
There is a stone top 8 foot belonging to Saskatchewan. That's the one they're trying to cover now with this guard.
Take a look to see how much you can see of it, the back one. Mike could see a little bit of it. He could play it quietly and try and hit it to this hack weight and try and roll behind the corner guards. Just playing the quiet hit, just enough to catch the corner guard, push it over and try and roll over the other side. A couple of things can happen. If you happen to hit the guard thin, go across, you open it up and go across.
You really hate to, sorry Vic, to take a run at the front because then you're not getting your chance to build up for the 2.
This is Mark LeCroc.
That was the other option. Gets it open.
It's actually a good shot too because now Saskatchewan can't ignore that stone top 12. They'll have to make a play in it. Now if you're New Brunswick, you're going to have some chances to make some come-arounds.
Saskatchewan third is Glenn Despens.
Hit and roll, Mike says. Keeping in mind that he's want to make sure he keeps it open enough to be able to get his single at least. Chance to get the hit and roll. Board weight is what roll over there.
Grant Odishaw, the New Brunswick third. Former Canadian mixed champion, 1994.
It's got a long way to curl.
Just didn't come enough. Well, I was going to play the tap back here. You got to be careful you don't tap it back on the wrong angle.
Good line. Just wait. Just wait. Good. Yep. No, back room. Yep. Hurry. 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 Straight up, hurry. Fire.
Not really what he wanted.
Keep our eye on the game between Nova Scotia and Ontario as well, as they play 10 in a 4-4 tie. Nova Scotia, team from Bridgewater, does have last rock. This will be the final stone of the end for Ontario. And their skip, Bob Ingram from Ridgetown. Both these teams had opening draw losses.
He's trying to get around a rock that sits right off the center line. He can get to the 4-foot, top 4-foot, and he can be buried, forcing Nova Scotia to make the cold draw. He's lying one that was only in the 8-foot. He wants this to bite the 4-foot. He does just that. I don't know how much they can see it. Nova Scotia can see it, but it didn't take much time. He's just drawing to the 4-foot for the victory.
Nova Scotia from the Bridgewater Curling Club, the first appearance for Brian Rayfuse, two-time Nova Scotia mixed champion. This team has been together for 14 years, and it's a cold draw. Needs piece of the 4-foot.
He had to throw big weight on his first one to move a rock off the 4-foot. Now he's got to come back with that draw weight.
Will it stop in time? It does. Brian Rayfuse and Nova Scotia will even their record at 1-1 and hand Ontario their second straight loss here at the Labatt Brier. Now we go to Skip Stone's Saskatchewan and New Brunswick, and the first from Rod Montgomery.
New Brunswick had hit and rolled out. I kind of thought they might make a quieter play with their last one.
I was very surprised. Make a play to try and get around that, maybe then so that they could get their their deuce.
And have a little chat about this. They looked like they were going down to play a come around. I'm not so sure that they want to do that. Mike Kennedy, of course, needing to get something going here for his two.
So be careful where you place this so it doesn't work against you.
Some of the options would be, of course, the come around that they talked about, or a tap up on their own. They could play it more into the middle. That would allow a tap back or a hit and roll.
He's going to play the come around. He's got to make sure he keeps it in front of the tee line, though. You could, you're right, Linda. They could put it right on the edge of the 4-foot or something and just make the perfect roll.
Updating on the game between British Columbia and Quebec. Look at this. Quebec gets 1 in 10 and forces the extra end. They're tied 6-6. Barry McPhee will have last rock in the extra end.
Placement of this stone is crucial. It cannot be behind the tee line.
Rod Montgomery.
That actually looks to me like it caught something. It really went sideways.
They call the brushing off so the rocks may be tighter together so that it would be more difficult to get around it if not have them lined up. If they're looking at the other side, will they be shot rock if they go around the rock sitting on the other side of the ice? On your right-hand side as you're looking at it. They've I'm going to play the intern, I think, and try and get around the two red rocks that are sitting in front, get it to curl enough and then not set up the right angle.
All the provincial and Canadian wind socks hanging from the rafters here as you get caught up in scores.
Well, Mike came back down the ice to talk. He does have last rock, but needs the 2 points to try and win this one.
We'll even get it 3/4 behind, leave a corner, and get a break, forcing Rod Montgomery to play a tough shot. Get a miss out of him, you get a draw for the win, but
doesn't look like they changed much.
Well, you can tell, well, they're all sitting together. Orange or yellow and black, New Brunswick supporters, green and white, Saskatchewan, right behind the sheet. And it's sheet B. Mike Kennedy. Interesting how this team is right from all over the province. Mike Kennedy lives in Edmundston, which is in the northwest part. Curls in Grand Falls, which co-hosts with Lawrenceville the McCain Super Spiel East every year, and then they all get together and curl out of the Beaver Club in Moncton.
it's a lot of miles in your car, isn't it?
First stone for the New Brunswick skip. He does have hammer trailing 4-3.
Trying to get it buried, take it back as far as they can. Get as much buried as they can. See it all.
Draw 4. We'll have it for you at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Make a note, it's 1/2 hour later. That'll be our 4th draw game.
It didn't vary. That's why I'm thinking that Saskatchewan stone thrown right before this one had to have caught something, because it curled so much. This one took a pretty normal path down and didn't finish that well for New Brunswick. So Saskatchewan can make a play on it.
Rod Montgomery will try and do that.
Few anxious moments, but
full 8.
No problem.
To force an extra end.
I don't have the advantage of microphones in this particular game, but I'm sure there's, you could see, Owen will see what he was saying. You know, I just got it out there in front of me. Threw it a little harder than I wanted to. Draw for the single and an extra end.
Full 8.
This belongs to the Brushers at this moment now.
It's a slightly different path. He took a little more ice so that he wasn't anywhere near those other stones. Red rocks on the other side of the sheet. So the sweepers have to watch that.
Rick Perron is closest to the stone. Mark Lecoq with the hog hair brush out in front. And they're going to go to an extra end. New Brunswick picks up the single in 10. Rod Montgomery, Saskatchewan to have hammer when we come back.
Karcher pressure washers. Blast away dirt and grime fast. From your car, boat, patio furniture, bikes, your deck, barbecue, eaves troughs, and recreational vehicles. Just about anything. Karcher. the fast and easy way to handle any top cleaning job.
That was a good party last night, though.
It was one of the better
history.
ones. You were on this phone a long time last night.
Who'd you call? Just for fun, who'd you call?
I called everybody.
Everybody here, everybody back home.
Everybody back home, I gave him a call. I called everybody back home. I called everyone back home. What? Nice. The guy goes bankrupt and his phone goes. Yeah, I hate to disappoint you guys, but you should see the deal I got.
Yeah, and only three numbers.
No, all numbers. All numbers.
All
right?
numbers.
Yeah. Can you call Hong Kong? I could call Hong Kong. Did you call Hong Kong? I called Hong Kong. Nice talking to you.
How did you get this deal?
These days, you're working harder than ever. You need a truck that does too. Introducing the all-new 1997 Ford F-150 with a tough new suspension. Don't move. A standard new third door to make life a lot easier. A stronger new frame. I'm driving. And the new Triton V8 with even more torque and horsepower. The all-new Ford F-150.
Better get to the Grand Canyon before we do.
Time now for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Interstate Batteries, out of our featured game, PEI in Alberta.
Well, it's a draw to the 4-foot. Kevin had a chance to maybe pick a rock out for 3, but he had a 2-point lead at this time, and he didn't take any chances, and he's got lying shot rock in the back of the button, and he could have maybe tried to pick that red one out for 3, but no extra chances. He makes no mistakes. He drops it in the 4-foot here in the 7th end and absolutely chokes this game. Actually ends it right here. There it is.
Alberta goes on to a 9-5 win over Prince Edward Island. A cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association of Canada for training and development of coaches in amateur sport on behalf of TSN and Interstate Batteries. We check them before you buy them for fresh power, guaranteed. So 2 games here in this second draw going to extra end, and we'll go to the game between British Columbia and Quebec as they're tied 6-6 playing the extra. And it is the team from the Kamloops Curling Club, British Columbia, that has the hammer.
Well, they got that first rock off that off the center line, so pretty good shape in this situation, Linda.
Yeah, since then they've been peeling the center line rocks. This one is actually in the rings. That doesn't matter. They just want to peel it off. That's not what they wanted at all.
Wanted to roll that right out.
Tony Eberts, the third for BC, has been struggling a little bit. He missed a peel in the last end on a corner guard. It didn't really cost them. In that case, he actually missed the rock entirely, but a nose hit in this case is just about as bad.
The Quebec third is Dan Lemery. These Quebec champions again, coming from the Buckingham Curling Club, not far from Ottawa. And so this, well, it's without doubt the winningest curling club in the province of Quebec.
This rock is moving.
Men's and women's champions. Out comes Westphal. Oh, look at that.
Bye-bye.
Look at this.
Very nice.
All those years we saw Pierre Charette doing the skipping and not the brushing, he, I'm sure, has a little more appreciation for those front enders now that he's up there buffing.
On Westphal, Dan Lemery. The BC third is Tony Eberts.
run back.
Drive it straight back. Caught it. Not enough.
Rock is still in the center line, and chance for Don Westphal to get around it.
Just change his shot. He can't make this now with the in-turn, as we saw Dan Lemery throw. So Tony's hit. Nice run back, a little roll to center line. The other way, so now Don Westphal has to play the out-turn to get around it.
Skip stones to come here in this extra end of a 6-6 tie.
Took a long time to talk about the ice. Taking the edge of the forefoot, so they need 2 feet of movement.
Don Westphal in his first appearance as a skip. This, though, his third time in the national championship.
Well, the sweepers have backed right off this one.
Sits back 8.
Just too much weight. Make it a little less weight, throw it to the brushers, and that would have curled a bit. Barry's got a decision to make now. That rock is in the back 8 foot. Run off the front one? I think so.
The decision is, of course, you can try and get in there better first. And that means that if you make it perfectly, the opponent has a really tough time. But if you don't, you leave him a chance for that steal. Playing the runoff means that the opponent can then put one top 8 foot and make your draw a little bit more difficult, but you know you're going to have a chance to get to the 4 foot.
Yeah, that's right. I think if the rock stopped in the back 4 foot, the decision by Barry would have been a little different, possibly.
Barry had a big game earlier, making some tremendous shots. Good numbers here as well.
You heard Barry say right off, we don't want to sit there. Right on the center line.
Stop there.
Pull in the 8 foot, the best you can do.
The thought being here that if you place it so he can't hit it on the nose and be shot, is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, you'd like that for sure. All you can do is try and cut the circles down on him, Vic, and he's going to have to draw, as Linda just mentioned, he's going to have to draw to the 8 foot as opposed to the 12 foot. It's the best you can do. He's going to have he can't stop everything. If you get it on the center line, just in the 8 foot, then Barry hits it on the nose, he's not going to be shot rock, so he's going to have to play a draw, and you've taken a couple of feet out of the rings.
Quebec has won a single national championship. That was, of course, 1977.
Jimmy Ursel.
And it was played in
Montreal.
Montreal.
Yes.
At the Velodrome, was it not?
This one's now up to the sweepers, not to take it too far.
Hey, Doug, and he accomplished what he had to do. He would have liked it over on the center line a little bit further, but Barry now has to draw. He's got the draw to the 4 foot, and he's going to play the draw down the center line a little bit to stay in the draw in with the in-turn is a little difficult. You're going into that shot stone. So this is the percentage draw.
That's an example that you're concentrating solely on weight. You don't have to worry about line if you play this particular spot. You just lay it down and let the sweepers take it to the forefoot.
It sure sounds easy.
Sure does from up here. This would be a huge day for BC if they can make this shot. McPhee showing his experience. When the fans started to cheer, he stepped away from the hack, prepared himself again.
Well, I'm sure he's had a few of these, those 4.5 foot, 5 foot putts. Knocked them in for the win.
The golf pro at the River Shore Golf Club here in Kamloops. For the win here in this extra end, tied 6-6. And Brown for Hitch. Now it's Tony Everts. They're going to have to drag it. The ice is perfect for carrying a stone. Did they get it far enough? They did. It's the perfect start for BC. It's perfect for them so far here at home.
My dream house would be a big house with stairs that go like this and have a big chandelier. There would be a humongous horse. I'd have the main floor, and it would have a room for my pets. Rusty. His name is Rusty.
To see how you can be home free faster, get expert help, the right plan, and guaranteed competitive rates, see your CIBC personal banker or call now.
1,000 times bigger than this.
At CIBC, we're working to see what you see.
Welcome to a world of fast relief from the pain of acid indigestion and heartburn.
No. That was a good party last night, though.
It was down in history.
You were on this phone a long time last night.
Who'd you call? Just for fun, who'd you call?
I called everybody.
Everybody here, everybody back home.
Everybody back home, I gave them a call. All right, you're going to go bankrupt on your phone bill. Yeah, I hate to disappoint you guys, but you should see the deal I got.
Yeah, and only 3 numbers.
No, all numbers.
Introducing a long-distance plan that makes sense. 25% off all calls, anytime, anywhere.
So why, you special or something like that? I'll tell you why. It's because I spend over $25 a month. That's
really?
Why. Yeah. All right. So can you call Hong Kong? Yeah, I could call Hong Kong. Now, did you call Hong Kong there, Cheesy? Did you talk to Laura? You did, didn't you? You called Laura in Hong Kong.
25% off all calls, anytime, anywhere, including overseas and calling card. Call 1-800-806-1166.
You know, where there's a spark, there's a flame. Laugh like you will. Nice talking to you.
You get this deal.
The 1996 Labatt Brier was brought to you by Labatt, Good Things Brewing. Unitel, quality long distance for less. And by Maple Leaf Meats, a cut above.
Then there was just one game remaining in this second draw. Saskatchewan, New Brunswick tied 4-4 in the extra end, and the team from Moose Jaw from the Hillcrest Sports Center, Rod Montgomery, does have hammer.
Well, they were trying to get that around, and Barry, there's a couple of good shots in this game, and Glenn Despins made a tremendous shot earlier in the end when it looked like there was a couple of rocks buried, and he ran a rock back and killed 2 off the button, and that really turned things around. Brunswick Mike Kenny trying to get around those 2 rocks, and they just chipped it as we came back to from commercial.
Just a reminder to stay with us. Immediately following, Rod Smith will be along with Sports Desk. Get you caught up on a busy Saturday night in the yeah.
This is kind of interesting because Rod Montgomery's first instinct was to go around, be the first to get around those two red ones, and then they talked about it a little bit. He said, let's run them off, let's get them off, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's going to get rid of the two red stones, which are his own stones, that are out in front, try and get all three off.
Of course, that's the problem. It's not easy to remove them all and not leave something for the opponent. That's why his first instinct was to play the come around, get there first. And now they've decided to make the peel. No, still thinking about it.
Now he's going to go back to the come around. He got down to the other end here, and I guess he felt he just couldn't get them all off without leaving the shooter. So he's going around first.
So Rod Montgomery with his first skip stone, and Rod will try to do what his brother Greg did here in Kamloops back in 1971 when brother Greg won the Canadian Juniors right here in Kamloops. Good to the Montgomery family.
Well, the one thing you can't be is deep.
Should leave that right there, actually. It's going to slide back. Well, this gives Mike Kennedy a good chance to get there first. He had a shot at it with his first one, and now with his last one, chance to bury in behind the center line guard.
And it's all a question of weight. There's plenty of movement. You can get it in there. It's just how much weight you throw at it.
Yeah, I was even wondering when I looked at the broom Saskatchewan gave for their last shot if they were actually playing a split or something, because they took edge of the forefoot for that shot, which looked like, as we watched it, a come around. Look where the broom is now. It's well into the 8-foot, so I'm just not sure what Saskatchewan was trying. We know absolutely that Mike Kennedy's trying to come around, and yes, it will move perfectly to get to that button area.
I don't see any advantage to the split on the front one. I mean, they're certainly taking more ice. Less ice than more ice than what Rod took, that's for sure.
Final stone for Mike Kennedy. New Brunswick playing an extra end. Saskatchewan does have hammer. Rick Perron and Mark Lecoq leaning on it.
Come on, guys.
Really have to lean on it if they're going to get it by. They won't. And that's it. The counter will be that stone just hanging on to the back of the 12 for a Saskatchewan win. 5-4 Saskatchewan in the extra end over New Brunswick. That's the final. Just a reminder, we'll be back with Draw 4 Sunday afternoon. Note the time, a half hour later, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, Northern Ontario against Newfoundland. Rod Smith and Sports Desk is coming right up. So till we talk with you again, on behalf of Linda Moore, Ray Turnbull, and our entire crew, I'm Vic Router. Thanks for joining us. Canada's most comprehensive curling coverage is right here. That's right, on TSN.
This is TSN.